Hello, I'm from the Australian government. Have you noticed how we make everything good shit? One by one, we're taking the things you know and love, Medicare, TAFE, the ABC, ARC, the National Archives, public schools, handshakes, desks, and turning them into conduits for our shit fuckery. That's because we make everything good shit. In today's episode of Make Everything Good Shit, we look at the CSIRO, your trusted science agency, which has earned a reputation for great inventions, Wi-Fi, space stuff, AeroGuard, unlike gas companies, which have earned a reputation for poisoning aquifers, ripping you off with high bills, and paying no fucking tax. So we thought, hey, what if we could let those gas companies use the CSIRO brand to regain your trust and keep making the ching-ching? Introducing Jazeera. Jazeera is an alliance between your beloved CSIRO and the 5 biggest companies in Australia's fracking industry. It's a great setup. They provide the money and the CSIRO provides the logo. Those gas companies are very modest, so whenever Jazeera publishes its research, they give CSIRO all the credit. No need to mention them. Of course, CSIRO scientists care deeply about their integrity. But don't worry, Jazeera fixed that problem by putting gas executives on all the committees that oversee its research. And just to be sure, we also cut hundreds of CSIRO climate scientist jobs and made the rest fear for their jobs if they speak out. We make everything good shit. Jazeera has made some terrific findings. Like that time they said this river being on fire is totes normal and has nothing to do with the thousands of fracking wells all around it. Turns out it does. Or that time Jazeera found our fracking emits less than the US. Sure, gas companies told it which wells to study, and sure, it only measured the well pads, ignoring all the other infrastructure and pipelines. But let's not get caught up in the details. And of course, that time Jazeera discovered fracking is safe for the environment by testing 6 out of Queensland's 19,000 gas wells. Sure, those 6 wells were chosen by Origin, who was so thoughtful they even paid for the tests, but that was good enough for us. So now we can tell you the CSIRO says fracking is safe for the environment. And that's how we've been letting your trusted science agency be infiltrated and hollowed out by these earth-fucking tumours. But don't worry, you still have your trusted Bureau of Meteorology. Hello, I'm from The Bomb, and today's forecast is brought to you by our sponsors, who gave us millions to not mention climate change. We make everything good shit. In New South Wales, expect Santos to fuck the beautiful Pilliga Forest, with a high chance it'll also take a shit on surrounding farmlands unless you lock the gate. All approved as safe thanks to research by Jazeera. Moving to the NT, watch out for this new piece of shit on the block run by Liberal Party donors, which is ready to frack the outback now that the moratorium has been lifted, thanks to research by Jazeera. Speaking of moratoriums, Victoria's just lifted theirs, so watch out for gas companies lining up to drill the Great Ocean Road, unless you tell them to fuck off, which is how you saved Crib Point from AGL. You know, the wankers who'll sue you if you use their logo to expose how they're Australia's biggest climate polluter. And in WA, if allowed to proceed, this flaming shit comet will wipe out not just our climate targets, but also the Murujuga rock art, home to the oldest known depiction of the human face. How appropriate. We'd like to warn you that all this will lead to more extreme weather events, droughts, floods, and hotter, more frequent bushfires. But the very same guy who founded Jazeera and turned your CSIRO into a cheer squad for gas companies is now our boss, and he loves to remove all mention of climate change from our public statements. Please send help. Back over to you at Bullshit HQ. Thank you, Bomb. What's that? How can we let your most trusted and beloved agencies be infiltrated and corrupted by these soulless fucking parasites? Oh, sweetie, that's what happens when your government's been captured by the fossil fuel industry. Join us next week for another episode of Make Everything Good Shit, as we take a look at universities, the NDIS, and your life in general. Authorised by the Department for the Gas-Led Shit Fuckery. Hello, I'm from the Australian government. Have you...
Where's our okie dokie boomer at there, Chanda? I think she's broken. What the hell? Hold on. Let me turn you on. Okay, now we can hear Chanda. We need to get that fixed. Anyway, hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. I had a hell of a time getting this thing
It's
kickstarted.
just a picture of... There it is. I had to take the overlay off of it. Some reason the overlay was blocking it.
Okay, we got to have her. Can we play her, please?
Okay.
I got
Yes,
have her.
please.
Yeah.
She's fixed.
Jimmy on a beat, boy. Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. 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 BOOMER, please, your dusty mood don't vibe with me. You are old and so therefore I must say 10 for dinosaur. Hey. Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Jimmy Okie dokie, boomer.
Okie dokie boomerette. we're having kind of a rocky start here tonight, but there's a big reason why. You know what that reason is, Chanda?
Because we're streaming to so many places.
Oh my God, yes, you are so on top of it. Tonight,
Amazing.
we are being syndicated out at KRTD Media in New York City. So thank you, New York, KRTD.
Welcome, New York.
Yeah. You guys over there at watching on the KRTD chat line on their channel. You're going to have to help us out in the chat over there because I can only monitor 47 chats at once. So
Right. Yeah.
we're going to get through this tonight, and then we'll get somebody over there monitoring those chats and throw them at us. How are you, Chanda? Did you survive last week? Melting?
Oh my God, we were literally in hell last week. It was at this time last week. It was what 100, 110 between the two of our houses.
I was 108 last Saturday at this time, and in the studio, it was at least 88 degrees, and computers and heat don't get along so well. It's bad enough.
CPUs meltdown.
Yeah, it was horrible. We didn't take a powder on you guys because we felt like it. We just could. There's no way we could have done it. You know,
No.
It's so hot tonight, I can't even wear the hair I had scheduled. So I had to wear my desert camo hair, and I've got my John Lennon glasses on.
Oh, I'm so sorry. No hair on a Saturday night.
No hair on a Saturday. It's just too hot. You know, I have that Gino Vanelli stuff over here ready to go, but it just won't do it. So.
Winter will be here soon enough.
Yeah, it will. And, you know, what's nice about the Gino Vanelli hair, you know why I can tell it's Gino Vanelli hair?
How?
Because it comes with little hair to go on my chest, too.
Oh, nice. Yes. You better wear the big butterfly colored the shirt, too.
I got to find one. I used to have some disco shirts.
I'm sure you did.
I have platforms. So, anyway.
They have goldfish in them?
Yeah, I think so. The goldfish, you know, neon. No, not neon lights. They didn't have that technology back then. Anyway, it's a birthday today. Whose birthday is it today, there, Shay?
Happy birthday, Julian Assange.
Oh,
Julian
yay!
Assange turns 50.
Yay! Happy birthday! And we are hoping that this birthday really is a great one, because after that cuck copped a line about him, case should have been thrown out already. So this is no Julian. This is not Clover's for Assange, a 50th birthday message to an old friend named Julian Assange. It took a while to write this, but it is for you, Julian. And yes, it is Julian Assange's birthday today. We have another graphic up here, and that's our birthday card to Julian Assange. That's we wanted to throw that out. And I noticed in the chats everybody's been wishing Julian happy 50th birthday. So thank you, chats, for caring. We certainly appreciate that, and we do care very, very much. Please,
Very, very much.
free Julian. And there was an event with some of our friends. You probably know all these people?
Yeah, but I do. But Josh Davis got cut out. Josh, I knew you were in the picture. I saw you when you watched this.
Yeah.
Josh is sitting down under Misty, but yeah, there's Franco, and then of course Suzanne. We love Suzanne.
I see Randy Credico hamming it up in the middle there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's people that are watching.
Oh yeah, I know so many, but I'm terrible with names because I meet so many people, you know, in these movements that unless I come into contact with you a lot, I have a hard time pulling the name back up.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for supporting each other, supporting our fams out there. And I see Julian Assange's dad and his brother in the back there too.
Mm-hmm.
They can push Randy Credico out of the way if they want. Nothing personal, Randy, but I want to see those guys. But I'm glad Misty's right up front there. Thank you, Misty, and thank you, Frank. Thank you, everybody. You know, even if I don't recognize you, I would recognize you by your Twitter handle, I'm sure. So anyway, thank you.
This is at the Department of Justice in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
We were there in March. Was it March or April? March. It was March.
You were March. Yeah, you and Amber King were
It was pouring down rain last time I was there. It was miserable rain. That's how hard it was raining.
Yeah. And again, thanks.
But we were out there. We were still out there.
Yeah, and when people start dissing people for being at home and not getting on the streets, don't diss our folks, because we're doing what we can when we can. Oz is the only one that sits on his ass. So
nah, not even.
We've got something here from David Sirota. Hi, David. How are you? Oh, don't get out your barf bag.
He's not barf bag worthy, but he has set me back a little bit to where I just don't. I mean, I agree with a lot of what he says. His tweets are normally on point, but there is some points of contention with him.
Yeah, there is. I mean, again, punching left is reserved for those who deserve to get punched, who are left. But this from Dave Brown put this up. And Biden bristles when he's asked follow-up questions about Afghanistan and says he wants to celebrate the holiday weekend. David says, the Gulf of Mexico was literally on fire, and the president said he wanted to go on to July 4th vacation. Anyway, let's give a listen to Sniffy Joe.
See some fireworks. Yeah.
Let's see what Sniffy
Listen to him whisper. Is he whispering?
Yeah, he's kind of whispering. I might have to kick it up a notch, but check this out.
We have worked out an over-horizon capacity.
What?
That we can be value added, but the Afghans are going to have to be able to do it themselves with the Air Force they have, which you're helping them maintain.
What?
I'm not going to answer any more question on Afghanistan. Look, it's 4th of July. I'm concerned that you guys are asking me questions that I'll answer next week. But this is a holiday weekend. I'm going to celebrate it. There's great things happening. Economy's growing faster than any time in 40 years.
Wow.
We've got a record number of new jobs.
Wow.
COVID deaths are down 90%. Wages are up faster than any time in 15 years. We're bringing our troops home. We have all across America. People are going to ball games and doing good things. This is a good. I'll answer all your negative questions. Not negative. Your legitimate questions.
Are you concerned that there is a
Not negative. These are legitimate questions. I just stepped on my face again, so
Oh my God. What does the rest of the world think of us? I mean, you can't even comprehend. It doesn't make sense, for one. Nothing he says makes sense.
Yeah, Anthony,
you can't understand him.
Anthony's got these big fucking question marks up. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony, I feel you, brother. Oh my God, Jesus! And lies. No shit. What is he talking about?
And don't fuck with me. I want to go on vacation and have a good time.
Yeah.
I'll deal with you fuckers when I get back.
Yeah, I want to go to a ball game while we're fucking bombing the shit out of Syria. Jesus
exactly.
Christ. Oh God, I'm such a patriot. Nah. Anyway, I threw this in there for you.
Ew.
Now that's what nightmares are made of.
That is what nightmares are made of.
Yeah, that is what nightmares are made of. So I had to put that in there.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, rule of thumb, guys, don't
walk in the woods.
Guys,
right?
don't text me while I'm doing a show unless it's an emergency, please. Didn't our brother Pasta say that once in a while too? Don't test it.
But I always do.
Yeah.
Because I know he's getting ready to go on air. I'll send him a message right then.
Well, hell.
Hell.
Yeah, it looks like KDTR stream is coughing. I don't know why.
No.
I will check it. I'll check it, Shane. I'm sorry. I did have a little trouble getting in there, but we will fix it for next time. I can only multitask so much. Anyway, it is 4th of July. It is holiday weekend for Sniffy Joe, and this is our checklist for 4th of July: hot dogs, beer, chips.
Check.
And Chanda, you want to read that?
So we got hot dogs, check. Beer, check. Chips, check. the unshakable feeling of dread that this country is doomed and there's absolutely nothing we can do to prevent it, and an inevitable collapse. Ketchup, of course, check.
Yeah, that's pretty much to the point.
Yeah, happy 4th of July.
Yeah, happy 4th of July. If everything wasn't such a shit sandwich, I would cry. But again, we really do try. We really do try to put a smile on everybody's face, at least ironically a smile. I don't know.
We make ourselves laugh, so that's all that matters.
If we didn't laugh, I'd be crying 24/7. So.
Well, and that's the point of why we do this show, is just to be smart asses, to point things out, to laugh. I mean, we do other serious shows.
Yeah, we really do. We really do. Let me see. I'm over here at KDTR, and I'm going to fix their stream real quick. And here it goes. Yeah, I can see what's happening. Shane, it should be up in just a minute if you want to give me a thumbs up once it goes. Didn't miss too much, but I will upload it back and get the full show on as soon as we are. I do want it to work. And if it kicks over, I will start it. It's not wanting to kick over. There it goes. Here we go.
There goes.
Here we go. We're on.
You're like a pilot. When we're in the green room, you're flipping all the switches, and we got to get up to a certain speed, and everything's got to be primed, and then we can take off.
Yeah.
And you kind of lose your stomach a little bit right before you go live. And
I swear to God, Chanda, though, I think somebody fucked with my altimeter.
Well, we know that.
I really do. I want to. This
been upside down.
We're gonna start this. What did I call it? A whiny and crying and doom my show tonight. I think that's what I cried.
Yeah, this is a pretty death and doom gloom show. Yeah. But hey, that's just where the state of our fucking world right now.
Yeah, it really is. We're gonna start it off though. We're gonna start with the weather. With the weather.
Extreme weather. I'm the extreme weather girl.
Yeah, you are extreme weather girl. Extreme
well,
weather.
And I've been called extreme on Facebook. This whole bullshit about call out those who share extreme content. So I now have a border up on my Facebook profile that shares, I'm an admitted extremist.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I'm a doomer. I'm from the doomers, but again, I before we get into it, I just want to shout out. We have another production assistant partner. I'm going to call it partner. I don't like the term assistant.
I know, me neither.
Linda.
Or aid.
AKA Trash Panda, is now working with us with production, video editing, graphics. Linda, and of course Hunter C. She's been working on multiple things. So we have two more ladies at Roar Media investing their time and energy to help get the word out on everything. So thank you so much, Linda, Trash Panda.
Yes, thank you for your help so much.
And Hunter C. And Linda actually made this card for us for tonight to lead in Hot Summer Nights. No time for baby steps in addressing climate change. Our house is burning now. I agree. And don't you, Chanda?
I absolutely agree. It's burning now. Did you see that town in Canada that burned? It's not on the deck because it just happened.
No, it is on the deck. I got it on the deck.
Oh, okay, you got it on the deck?
Yeah, I got it on the deck. It's coming after the ocean catching on fire. So here we go. The ocean catches on fire. And like I was saying in the green room, Chanda, I didn't believe this. I thought this was like an onion shitty piece, but the Gulf of Mexico was on fire after an oil pipeline began leaking gas. Fire erupted in the Gulf of Mexico after a gas leak on Friday. This is Friday, okay? So why I thought it was fake, I clicked into this graphic here. Let's take a look. I thought this was from a science fiction movie.
Right?
What the... Are you kidding me?
That's crazy.
That's nuts. Can you see? It looks like one of those Die Hard rescue movie things.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And I ran across somebody used the graphic climate change crisis. When the ocean catches on fire, the shit has hit the fan. Yeah, I agree. And here's another one that I thought was fake, but I don't think it is. It was featured in our Juice Media thing. That we just played. Look at that. What the hell?
Are they literally dumping water on it?
I'm sure it's chemical something, you know.
Yeah, it's nitrous or something. I heard
It's something. Let's poison the ocean and put out the fires, you know. 220,
Well,
221.
fuck, why not? They punched a hole in the fucking Gulf of Mexico a couple of years ago and let all that fucking crude out, and they never did clean up that crude. How do you describe it? It became a mass that's just kind of settled a little bit above the bottom of the fucking Gulf of Mexico. So what if they ignited all that fucking shit? The whole goddamn Gulf would have gone up. And then hurricanes coming through. Are we going to get fucking fire canes?
Yeah, fire canes to go with the Sharknadoes and everything else.
Exactly.
This is apocalyptic end times crap, and people are just, okay, I'll have a Big Mac, fries, Coke.
We didn't see this shit 20, 30 years ago. As a kid, you would hear of an earthquake in a third world country or, you know, a forest fire. This didn't happen like it does nowadays.
No, this is crazy shit. This is off the wall stuff, and yeah, I mean, nuts. And we're gonna try. We have a huge show tonight. We've got a huge deck, so we're gonna try and keep the cadence going. And Shanda's gonna slap the shit out of Oz if he gets too chatty.
We're taking a 3-hour tour tonight.
Yeah, 3-hour tour. we're so fucked. Anyway, I'm gonna shout out the Natural Progressive. You want to get raw media? I got Shaw Yar, Independent Outsider. We got Salt Liquors, and let me see, Vermont Bread Smith. Who else we got? Kamshwari Cake, my buddy. Lightning Rod. Hi there. Who do you got over at Roar Media Live right now?
Roar Media, you guys are hanging out. We got Bass Adams, Keith Hayes, Gamer, welcome. Anthony, Julie Love, welcome, Julie. Schultze. Hey, Schultze.
Hi, Schultze. How you doing?
Hayes. I'm trying to scroll through there. See.
Jilly.
Josh. Hey, Josh Davis. Welcome.
Hey, Josh.
Jenna. Hey, Jenna.
Jenna Colby. Hi,
Jenna cracks me up. She's got some of the best posts.
She is funny.
Dingo ate my baby. I think Dingo's hanging out over on the Rock Fan.
Yeah,
too.
Dingo's
a couple hanging out over there. Steve Cutler just joined us. Welcome, Lucky Burrito. We're getting ready to have fun. We're just getting the show started.
Yeah, we're trying to anyway. And over on the Rock Fan, Dingo ate me baby. Hey, how's it going? Keith Hayes. I watched a little bit of your show this morning, Keith. It was an interesting show for sure. I don't know, where was Marcus? Was Marcus on vacation, Keith, or Miss Marcus? We love Marcus too. So, Carrie Black over on the Rocket. Whatever, man. I'm alive. Yes, you are. Then we've got who else we got over there? Kamshwari Kate's over there too, and Fred Edward. There's our friend Fred Edward. Hey, what? I can roast my house-sized marshmallows. Carrie Black. Yeah, so that's the shout-outs for now. Thanks again, everybody, for joining. I hope everybody's getting... I don't know who's over at KRDT or TD. Sorry. I'm dyslexic. I'm warning
you. Is it on YouTube? Is it on their YouTube channel?
It's on their YouTube channel.
Okay, hold on. I'll find it.
It shows the stream is hot. So, Shane, I haven't seen whether you can see it or not yet. If you can, send me a bleeper. Anyway, yeah, on with the bad news and the weather. Ground temperatures hit 118 degrees in the Arctic Circle. Oh, joy. We can have slushies for about 2 seconds. Look at this. God, Chanda, look at... Oh, man. They went a little crazy with the orange there, didn't they? Meanwhile,
yeah, they did.
Meanwhile, in Siberia, this has got to be scary. Now, this was what, Thursday, and it's still burning.
That's insane.
This is insane. And here's a clip. Take a look at this. This will make you sick right here. 6:21. I'm sorry. Russia. You speak Russian, comrade?
I do follow some Russian podcasters.
Yeah, me too. Comrade Misty and Comrade Fee.
No, not those ones.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, this is horrifying.
Look at that. Holy crapola.
Fucking scary.
Siberia. I got the next one coming up. It's going to really freak you out. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's Siberia.
Wow. That's Siberia. Now, this is really good.
You know what happens to the ground there when it gets warm? It fucking melts because most of it's permafrost and it just turns into this like thick mud quicksand.
Yeah. Yeah. That's nuts. Now, here, wait till some of these places that the ground consists of peat catches on fire. That stuff burns forever. This is Siberia. This 1,000 times larger. The fire in Russian is 1,000 times larger than Canada wildfires and the Permex catastrophe in Mexico too. Wow. Now, these are continents. You see that little reddy orange area there? That's the fire zone. Check this out. Remember, these are continents around here. Look at the size relation to the continents and these fires. Let me see if I can pull the string on this. Check that out. Look at that.
Wow.
Wow.
Rotating.
Yeah, it's like a hurricane.
It is. It's rotating like an eye wall of a hurricane.
Fun fact that I believe is factual. I caught this, but I didn't get to pull the GIF. When they're going like that, there's fire cyclones or tornadoes.
Right.
And lightning storms inside those fires. So it's like hell on earth in those things. Yep. So if you haven't seen those, there was some satellite images of the smoke coming up, and it was lightning blasts underneath the smoke. You could see it through the smoke. It was so intense. So, it's... That's enough to scare the hell out of you.
Oh, but we're not done yet.
No, we're not done. We're
not even close.
But wait, there's more. I mean,
exactly.
But on these stories that we just brought, a friend of ours visited and said, so everyone thinking this was me, nada de nada. It was these two assholes who caused all this shit. And it was you see these two assholes right here? Can you believe it? They've set the Siberia on fire and everything else. Yeah, so anyway, shame on you, Chanda. You should use your superpowers for good.
I know, I should, right? Just like everybody in the world.
Yeah, I know it's terrible to try and throw some humor in there, but Jesus, like I said, I'm going to be crying if I don't do something. My God, this is nuts. So we're moving right along here. Coroner says 2 presumed dead following a fast-moving fire that destroyed 90% of Lytton, BC. Well, this is the Canadian town that you're talking about.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so check this out. It's in the deck. Check it out.
A forest fire that ignited after days of record-breaking temperatures has destroyed most of the small western Canadian town of Lytton. That's according to local politician Brad Viss on Thursday, which also marks the Canada Day holiday. Viss said in a Facebook post, quote, "The town has sustained structural damage and 90% of the village is burned, including the center of town." Lytton in central British Columbia this week broke Canada's all-time hottest temperature record 3 times, hitting 121 degrees Fahrenheit or 49 degrees Celsius on Tuesday. Late on Wednesday, the mayor said the whole town was on fire. More than 1,000 people in and around the town were then forced to evacuate. The extreme heat has punished residents far and wide. At least 486 sudden deaths were reported in the province of BC over 5 hot days. That's nearly 3 times the usual number, according to officials. An unprecedented heat wave has also left a rising death toll in its wake in the Northwest United States. Christy Eby, a professor at the University of Washington, says people often underestimate the danger of high temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't think about heat as a killer, and it is. And we know that the numbers are fairly high. Estimates of the number of excess heat-related deaths in counties that cover just 62% of our population suggest that 5,500 Americans die every year from the heat. Certainly, the event we've seen, we're going to see excess deaths a lot more than we should have, because all of those deaths could have been prevented. So we have to raise that awareness.
In Oregon, where 63 deaths have so far been linked to the heat wave, Governor Kate Brown this week declared a state of emergency, while the Portland Fire Department banned the use of fireworks for the 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking scary. We have fireworks have been down so far. I haven't heard hardly any for the last 2 days here around me.
I haven't either. But we've passed a lot of ordinances in the last few years saying, no, you can't have them.
Yeah, and besides freaking out all our four-legged friends and two-legged flying friends and everything else, this dry heat wave, this heat dome that we got hit with just turned all that grass that's just been cut.
But some jackass, so we'll have multiple fires around the state tonight. We know it.
Oh, yeah. There'll be a dickhead out there that's irresponsible.
There always is.
Drunk fucker or somebody.
Yep.
You know. Now the next gloom and doom story. Bring
it on.
Yeah, bring it on. Chanda brought this. It's really just wonderful. So Chanda, take it away.
Oh, okay. So because this actually, I wrote these reports 2 weeks ago before the heat dome hit us, because I was noticing how hot California had been, and the water sources for all of the Southwest are fucking drying up, and it's shocking how fucking dry our reservoirs are.
Does that mean I got to play it?
Yeah, you can hit play.
All right, let me hit play. Here we go.
I do not have any AC units, unfortunately. I sold out of those within the first 2 days I brought them in this week.
I didn't think it would be this hot. I mean, I come here all the time, but today is just like really, the surface of the ground is super hot.
We just have the air sealing, the fans. Yeah, the fans. We have fans, and that's all. We just keep the windows open, and we try to have that cross air, like makes it cool, everything. Yeah. That works really well, and it saves a lot of energy, yeah.
I think that we all should be doing our part to save as much energy, conserve as much as we can.
Yeah, it may be the first day of summer in the Northern Hemisphere, but for some 50 million people in the U.S., summer has arrived early and hotter than ever before. In just the last week, high temperature records have been shattered all across the western half of the United States. Let's pull in the map to show you what we're talking about. Salt Lake City in Utah just saw its hottest day since record keeping began back in 1870, 107 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 42 degrees Celsius. You see it right there. Wyoming also saw new records. In Nevada, Las Vegas continues to flirt with its all-time high of 47 degrees Celsius. You see right there. But the U.S. city melting the most, Phoenix, Arizona, which just set an all-time record of 5 consecutive days of 115 degrees Fahrenheit. You see it right there. That's 46 degrees Celsius. Now, the heat is making severe droughts across the western U.S. go from bad to worse. The federal government is already planning to declare an official water shortage at Lake Mead in August. Lake Mead's waters power Hoover Dam. Now, this picture, it tells the story, doesn't it? As of last week, Lake Mead's water level is at a record low, and there is no relief in sight. The western U.S. is in what scientists are describing now as a climate change-induced mega drought. Some even say that this summer could be the hottest and the driest in a millennium. And less water means more fire. 2020 saw a record number of wildfires in California, Oregon, and in Washington state. 2021 is expected to be worse. Stephen Pine is a leading environmental scientist who has written extensively on fire and climate change. I want you to take a listen to how he describes what is happening.
I think what we're seeing with climate change is that it is acting on and exaggerating all kinds of climatic conditions. And so it is making things worse. We're seeing more frequent fires, more severe fires. We're seeing them at a scale, not just in terms of area largeness, but intensity plus area combining. I've got children, I've got grandchildren. What kind of world are they going to inhabit? It's going to be a very different one. If the climate change trajectory isn't flattened, then all those will be overridden. I mean, all those temporizing things, all those small-scale things we do will simply be overwhelmed.
Am I missing something with all this stuff, or is it like the world coming to an end?
Well, and the thing is okay, so this was 2 weeks ago. This was the first day of summer, so it was the 20th when I wrote this report, because remember, we didn't do last week's show, so a lot of this was older stuff. Every one of those records that was broken in the Southwest, Phoenix, Salt Lake, well, then a week later, we broke all of our records in the Northwest. So pretty much the whole western half of the United States is breaking records and in a mega drought.
So is MSNBS and CNN putting out the alerts to everybody to get their shit
straight? No, because they're not allowed to talk about this shit, right? Because they're paid off by the,
fossil fuel industry doesn't want them talking about it. Oh, gee. Well, they're going to die too. So I guess that's fair, isn't it? Or whatever. I don't know. This is nuts. This is astounding. Hoover Dam, electricity.
All these next few videos are shocking to the core. Like,
now this is Hoover Dam, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's check it out. Wow.
We're in the 22nd year of drought, and the lake was about 95% full in year 2000, and now we're at 35%. The Lake Mead and Hoover Dam serve about 25 million people in the lower basin. We have a decrease of about 25% of our capacity in producing power because of the lower lake levels.
It makes me wonder whether my grandchildren would have the same resources that I had. It makes me think about how we waste things. It makes me very concerned about the future of the earth itself.
Well, 5 months ago, the water level used to be right above this flat land right here. About 5 months ago, that island didn't exist. So could you imagine in volume how many gallons are missing?
That is shocking. When I went to Philadelphia in 2016, I went across the Columbia River at the gorge, right?
Yeah.
And I hadn't been over it in probably 15 years on I-90, that direction. And it was like being punched in the gut when I saw how far the water level had dropped in the 15 years since I had been there last. Like, it was so shocking and noticeable. And yeah, the water's gone. And what are they going to just keep doing?
Yeah, and that's my stomping grounds, the Columbia River Gorge down in Portland and stuff. When I was down in California, the big reservoir that's in the Bay Area, that thing back in 1990, hell was low. I can only imagine what it's like now. And is anybody sounding the alarms in the mess? I'm going to start calling it mess media out there, or once again, fossil fuel rules. Don't talk about it, right?
Right. They might have some blip that'll say Lake Mead at record low on the bottom of their ticker while they're interviewing Beyonce or something,
Well, yeah, and this is play it up, man. Don't play it down. This is the problem I'm having with all this stuff.
But did you see what each one of those interviews interviewed an older gentleman, and they both said, "What the hell are we leaving our kids?"
That's exactly it. I've said it. You've said it. I mean, people.
That's why I'm in this fight.
People, our friends over at the Natural. Hi, Kim. Over at the Natural Progressive, they've been talking about this for years. They've been advocating.
Oh, hell yeah.
They've been advocating. It wasn't negative birth. I think that's murder. But I think it was no birth because, hey, we're running out of shit and we don't want to bring more people into this world. So Natural Progressive peeps. So, hi, Cyrus. Over there.
We got a super ray over on the Rockfin, because Shami Kate says, as long as Palm Springs golf courses have enough water, keep things green, everything's going to be okay. Hashtag suck the Colorado dry. Yeah, I agree. Right?
Yeah.
Fireworks going off here. Sirius.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sirius.
Thank you, Sirius, for the super ray. Thank you, Kamshwari Kate.
I'm keeping up. We actually have folks hanging out over in the Beauty and the Boomer YouTube channel. I just got logged in over there. And hey, Chris Foster.
Hi,
SF Thomas. Who else is over there? We've got Sirius 1976. You guys, thanks for hanging out on that channel.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys. I mean, a lot of people in social media, they want to centralize and put their show, lock it into one YouTube channel, one alternate channel. That's great. We're trying something different. We're trying to
Oz is pimping us out.
Yeah, I'm pimping us out. And again, shout out to Thurston Community Media. They are putting us out there in the middle of the night, which is when we have to go because, Chanda gets a little risque and I get a little foul-mouthed and things like that. So, but that's cool. But we just appreciate that if we get one person and they get some information that helps, we've done what we want to do. Plus, like Chanda and I both say, we can use the support, Super Ray, Patreon, whatever. You guys can throw us a couple of nickels, but that's not our game. And we just want to get the thing out there. I just want to reemphasize that again. So there's also, I'm going to warn everybody, actually I'm going to let everybody know that our partner and thing is out has offered us some coffee memes. And we want you to let us know if these coffee memes are funny or whatever. And we're going to have coffee memes from Joey's Coffee, who is my partner. And it's her cottage
best
industry.
Coffee maker.
And yeah, she keeps me sane with coffee and dandelion tea. So if you need some dandelion tea or coffee, I mean, they're little packages, but if you do it right, you get several cups out of them.
Yeah.
But definitely give it a shot. Anyway,
And her green tea zinged me out the other day. I cleaned the whole house, and all I had was 1 cup of green tea.
Yeah, well, the dandelion tea doesn't do that to you. The dandelion tea is medicinal, and again, we use the spent dandelion tea leaves we mix it with dog food, and the chickens love it too. So,
I bet.
We have another, is this lake mead again? So what's this one? This is California historic drought is causing...
I don't know. I wrote this show 2 weeks ago. Just pull the trigger.
Just add lemon, officials say. Tastes like dirt. I wonder why.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah, it's CNN. Just add dirt.
If I can get it to start. Hello, come on, kick over. There it goes.
Meantime, the ABC 15 Impact Earth team tracking the historically low water levels at Lake Mead. Now, yesterday, water levels fell just a hair above 1,070 feet, breaking yet another record. It's unlikely water levels at Lake Mead, which is the reservoir for the Colorado River, will rise another 5 feet by the end of this year. Now, if that doesn't happen, it's going to trigger massive water cuts across Arizona.
What do you mean if it doesn't it isn't going to happen?
It did happen. And so, yeah, there's massive water cuts in Arizona. And the water situation, I don't think I brought that report, but the water situation is so bad that they have forest fires going on, and they can't even scoop the lakes for water because they will literally scoop what water's left in the lakes out to fight the forest fires.
Yeah, I mean, and that's going to taste like mud too, because it's the bottom of the water barrel, everybody.
Yeah.
So, and I've got a story that's going to really piss you guys off tonight about privatization of our water. And you won't be surprised. Anyway, thank you, weather person Chanda. That was really cheerful.
I'm not done yet. I got a couple more.
I know. Here's our first coffee meme of the evening. Are you a good witch or a bad witch? It depends on how much coffee there is. And that's Andorra from...
I love Andorra.
The greatly loved and greatly missed Bewitched. So, yeah, that was it. And let's see. That's the first one. A little pop culture one there. Oh, yeah, here comes... Here, let's cheer us up some more. Thank you, Chanda. May I have another? Okay.
Yes, you may. Yes, you may.
All right. What's this one all about? The drought hits the U.S. reservoir? Same?
This is the interview with the same lady, but I think the information that she brings is pretty pertinent.
All right.
Likely be declaring shortage for the first time ever in the lower basin for the year 2022.
The electricity for 8 million Americans is produced by the Hoover Dam, this vast site powered by Lake Mead. To protect electrical output, a shortage declaration would reduce the water supply to homes and businesses.
People need to conserve water in every way that they can, in their homes, in their landscape. Don't wash cars, go to a car wash, conserve water.
They are just some of the measures that will be needed to protect the dam and the lake, but there are great challenges ahead for both. Drought and climate change are the major problems here, but this year's super high temperatures mean that evaporation has reached record levels too. Enough water is lost every week from here to fill 15,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools.
15,000.
And water pressure on a depleting supply. The dam provides power to Las Vegas, America's power-guzzling playground. It's the fastest warming city and in the driest state. With an expanding population and rising temperatures, conservation is all. Surprisingly, in terms of water at least, the strip is not the problem. Almost all of it here is recycled.
Here's some water right here.
Wastage elsewhere is the real issue.
This is water waste. Water waste investigator 7158. I have water coming through a brick wall from the backyard.
Las Vegas is tackling that with round-the-clock
On-site
patrols.
leak. Oh yeah, look at this.
With strict laws now in place to restrict the watering of gardens and grass, there are fines of up to $5,000 for those breaching the rules or failing to tackle leaks.
And I guess people would say this isn't a big deal, this is only a little bit of water.
But this is cumulative effect. If you take this whole complex, there's thousands of gallons of water going out that main gate there. And this water will go into the storm drain system. It'll evaporate before it even hits the lake. So that's where the waste is from this. This is not recoverable.
So basically, you just saw the first ever water cop.
Water cops. That's you know what? Good. You know what? Good. I've heard some stories about celebrities bogarting the water. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of that. But
just like every other system in this country, it's going to be taken over, and those who have none won't get any. So if they're going to start patrolling and policing the water, we all think it's good, right? Don't let people waste. What happens 5 years from now when there's such a severe drought and there's only a small amount of water and it's dished out according to class?
Yeah, and it's dished out according to class. Did you say 5 years?
They're already doing that now, but I see the patrols and the policing of it getting worse in the next 5 years.
Yeah, there's water hoarding that's another thing. I don't know what else to say. You got another one here. We're helping out our
Okay, so this is just wrapping up this report, but it's not just humans that are being affected by these droughts, and they're going to some amazing lengths to save the bighorn sheep because there's no water for them. So they're literally helicoptering in water.
You know, today we're involved in a conservation project on behalf of bighorn sheep, although all wildlife will benefit from it. Unfortunately, because of how dry we've been, we're in a 21st year of a long-term drought. The last year, 2020, is extremely severe, and 2021 hasn't started out much better. And so we're hauling water on the mountain to benefit bighorn sheep, but all wildlife species in the area will benefit from it. Yeah, where we're hauling the water is to a project, a water development project. We call them guzzlers, and they're designed to trap and store rainwater in underground tanks and then disperse it to a drinker. It's available to sheep during the hot months of the year to kind of carry them through that time. And so the drinker works on a system as the water goes down in the drinker, then the water from the tanks, the storage tanks, then backfills. So they always have water, as long as we have water in the tanks. Normally it's the seasonal rains, the rains we get between November and February that fill these tanks up, and then they get replenished with the monsoon. We really haven't had either one of those for a while. Our conservation efforts on behalf of bighorn sheep is that in 1967 we had about 2,500 to 3,000 bighorn sheep statewide. Today, thanks to projects like guzzlers or our trapping and transplanting efforts, we're up to about 12,000 sheep statewide.
12,000 for a population is not a lot.
No, it really isn't. And when are we going to have the people? Well, don't worry about the sheep. Worry about the people. You know?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what it's coming. It's already at that point. We've flicked off Mother Nature. It's all about us.
Yeah, a little payback here. Did you know it's illegal to do that kind of capture, that rain capture in Washington State? And
yep, I've fought it for a long time.
Yeah, well, you want to know what I do about it?
Go get a big rain barrel and put it out there. Yeah, right.
I've got 5 of them, and I've got a capture system. The thing, you know, and I just indicted myself. I hope I don't get a fine. I haven't done it, you know.
Water cops are coming
I
for
haven't
you.
done it this season, but my argument is, it takes literally 20 minutes to fill up 150-gallon barrel off my roof. So you're telling me that if I have 3 barrels that I'm capturing 50 gallons of water, are you kidding me, man? Really? You know, so again, Whatever.
I would love to test that water and just see how much aluminum, strontium, and barium are in it.
Well, yeah, I don't use it for drinking water. I use it for gardening water.
Yeah, but that'll kill your fucking plants, especially the parts per million that we are getting doused on.
Yeah, I'd rather breathe it than drink it. So I guess you're right. We're so screwed. Now, is this why you brought this this next one right here? Is this your I'm pissed off at all this stuff? Is that what that is?
Yeah, take on me.
Okay.
No, I just thought it was cute.
It is cute. Let's take a break. All right, we got punked. It's okay.
Oh, we know we get punked.
I love it. For what was that? 12 seconds?
12 seconds.
Yeah, everything's this is also
Thank you, may I have another?
Thank you, may I have another? May I have another? We have another coffee meme here. Let's take a look at this. Joey's Coffee Roaster. On Sunday, my coffee is recreational as opposed to weekdays when it's medicinal. Is that you, Chanda? That's you, right?
Every day it's medicinal.
Every day is medicinal. Well, I've got a real treat of a story here for you, everybody. This, when I read this, I'm just like reeling. I'm not surprised because they use prison labor to fight fires and do a myriad of other things. But Russell Stover Candy has brought over inmates to do the learning skills to help them transition to outside the prison when they are released.
Slave labor, you mean?
Slave labor, that's it. Russell Stover Candy Factory in Kansas has begun hiring incarcerated workers through a work release program. Sounds okay, kind of, for a minute. Iona Higgins reports in his newsletters, Flashpoint, about 150 women are bussed in from the Topeka Correction Facility and paid $14 an hour, which isn't very much, but it's $14 an hour.
That's actually for Topeka. That's actually pretty high.
Yeah, okay. But the prison keeps some of their wages for room, board, and taxes, transportation.
Yeah, you got to pay to go to jail.
And the other expenses, when all said and done, they take home less than $6 per hour. These deductions are high, but elsewhere in the country, they're even higher, which makes it okay, right? In our May series on prison labor and the food industry, we reported that incarcerated workers in the Idaho potato industry take home less than $2 per hour. Now, tell me your feelings about that, Chanda.
This is disgusting. This is slave labor. I don't know the statistic right off the top of my head for the amount of labor that is incarcerated, but more and more and more, that's what America has become. And yeah, they're all doing it. These private prisons are getting contracts with these big corporations, and we'll send you a workforce. Look at the firefighters that make $1 a goddamn day in California.
Yeah, they're putting their lives on, but they're they're criminals. They have to pay back society for their deeds. Give me an effing break.
Most of them are nonviolent, or they wouldn't be out there on those front lines.
And drug offenses, getting caught with a lid in your trunk.
The war on drugs is just another way to round people up for
the prison labor system.
Camps.
And
their prison labor system.
And what about those inmates who aren't physically able to even do that? Where's the benefit there? There's so many things about this that pisses me off. And child labor is another thing that's happening too that we're not aware of. So.
Oh yeah, it actually is, and it has been for many years. In the way that we have the labor laws for youth, they work around it, and they're set up for you to work around it. As a manager for many years, I knew what I could get away with when it came to kids under 18 working for me.
Yeah, and they don't, and in many cases they don't even get paid. Which is nuts. You get the privilege of working here and learning how to do our stuff.
You got experience. Yeah, you put it on your resume.
Yeah, you're our intern whom we abuse in so many ways.
How sick is it that they make you pay to go to jail? I'll never forget that. I once went to jail and I got a fucking bill for like $125 for 25 hours in jail. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, well, then again, I don't know. I can't even play devil's advocate here. I think that if Russell Stovers wants to have them God, how do I even say this? If Russell Stover,
I don't know, but I don't think I'll be buying Russell Stovers anymore.
They should be footing the transportation bill. And what's this about room and board? Room and board. They already have room and board, all of the taxpayer, and now the corporations are profiting off of the taxpayer.
Right, because they get so much from the state for each inmate. What is like $6,400 an inmate, and then they make the inmate pay, so they take half their paycheck. They're getting all that too. Yeah, private prisons are just a racket.
Well, what was that one judge in Alabama who was sending all those kids to the prison?
Oh, that piece of
he
shit,
got busted, but he was like sending them there and getting a kickback for sending, teenage. Minor
help them meet their
offensive
quotas.
kids. Yeah, so that he's getting a kickback. Anyway, when I saw this story, I had a fit, and I decided to do this. So we've got Prison Barbie making Barbie candy for Russell Stover's Christmas.
Prison Barbie.
Funny, not funny.
I would love to have an actual prison Barbie. Like, who would go to jail and be prison Barbie?
Yeah, I just it's. I had a friend who. I had one in jail back in long time ago. She was my pen pal. When she got out, we dated and stuff like that. But so I have some firsthand experience on how they treat these inmates. Particularly in my case, it was a woman, and it's horrendous. Mentally, they mentally destroy these people, these human beings. And and her offense, she broke the law and she cop to it, but the torture they endure, the emotional stuff that going into these places, and they turn them into pieces of garbage to abuse emotionally and everything else. It's not rehabilitation. It's slavery on steroids. Chanda, you brought this one, and what is this all about?
Incremental change. We want more human corporate overlords. More symbolic concessions. Yes,
is that the pink pussy hat?
Yep.
Okay, I got in trouble for questioning.
Yeah, well, I don't. I've been calling them out since before the freaking Women's March. So
all I asked was what they were marching for, and what
they were marching for whatever, as long as it was a woman thing.
And the response I got, well, you wouldn't understand because you're a man.
Yeah, Trump's bad. That's what they were marching for.
Okay, whatever. I go ahead, march, but I just kind of fill me in on what you're marching for so I can maybe help you out or whatever. So, again, this identity crap, it's a tough pill to swallow sometimes. I've got another one here. Let's see what this one is. Bring this over here, and Joey's coffee. Me before coffee, judgmental and sarcastic. Me after coffee, judgmental and sarcastic, but faster. Yeah, I think that's pretty good too. Thank you, Joey. All right, are we ready for segment 2? Jimmy calls them skits, and I hope we can do skits someday. But these are
we're not comedians though, so we don't do skits.
We're not. We're with little satire, try to pour attempts at humor, that sort of stuff. Honestly, I believe this is a good report. And I'm going to get into why, if you like Jimmy, love him, hate him, take him, sick of the so-called drama. We're going to get into that in the last segment of the show. And I hope everybody sticks around. If you're tired of it, thanks for hanging out. But this one is about Rachel Maddow is not news. And I thought this was a great story.
What?
Yeah, this is a great story. There's Jimmy. He's such an...
I love that hairdo. I had that hairdo in 1989. I had that hairdo.
Really, I have that hairdo every day, less some. So, yeah, I'll trade you. Anyway, I believe this is Glenn Greenwald. Great segment. There's a lot of information here, so I'm going to pull the leather, enjoy it as much as I did. But this calls out the hypocrisy that we're seeing in the mess media today.
All right, let's get to this. This is fun. All right. It's fun. It's nice to have laughs, but let's get down to business.
Yeah, let's get serious.
So here, a court recently ruled that Rachel Maddow's viewers know she offered exaggeration and opinion and not facts. So this is from article about this. MSNBC's top-rated host, Rachel Maddow, devoted a segment in 2019 to accusing the right-wing cable outlet One American News, OAN, of being a paid propaganda outlet for the Kremlin, right? In this case, she announced the most obsequiously pro-Trump right-wing news outlet in America really literally is paid by Russian propaganda. Now, she said literally. That's a quote. Okay. In response, OAN sued Rachel Maddow and MSNBC and its parent corporation Comcast for defamation. Makes sense. You would think they would do that. And out of all the many things you could criticize a far right-wing network for, and she had to make something up. Isn't that kind of amazing? It's to me. In an oddly overlooked ruling, an Obama-appointed federal judge dismissed the lawsuit on the grounds that even Maddow's own audience understands that her show consists of exaggeration, hyperbole, and pure opinion, and therefore would not assume that such outlandish accusations are factually true, even when she uses the language of certainty and truth when presenting them. Literally is a paid Russian propaganda. That's the quote. The judge also went on to say that Maddow's show is different than a typical news segment where anchors inform viewers about the daily news. The point of Maddow's show is for her to provide the news, but also to offer her opinions on the news. I love how the first part of the judge's statement is a total burn. Rachel's news show is different from other news shows in that it's not actually news. That is such a burn.
This is her winning the case. This is her lawyers arguing this and the judge accepting it in her favor.
Yeah, this is amazing. Keeps going. Therefore, the court finds that the medium of the alleged defamatory statement makes it more likely that a reasonable viewer would not conclude that the contested statement implies an assertion of objective fact. So when she said literally, she literally didn't mean literally. She literally meant figuratively. Okay. The court ruled that Maddow's own viewers not only expect, but desire that she will not provide the news in factual form, but will exaggerate and even distort reality in order to shape her opinion-driven analysis. They watch the news, but not
the news.
Dude, this reminds me of when the judge said the DNC had the right to rip you off because you knew that they were going to rip you off and not listen to you, and you had no say over who gets to be picked.
Yeah, they can literally pick their candidate in a smoke-filled
right. It just reminds me of that. Well, you knew.
Yeah.
You knew.
And so I enjoyed the hell out of this. This is why I clipped it up, because there's three of them. Let's take a. Oh, there's me. How do you like that? I got blonde tuft hair. There you go. Anyway, it goes on, and it keeps. It's a gift that keeps on giving. So let's pull the lever on this one.
So in fact, Rachel not only used the same argument, she was the pioneer, and in her case, it was much more serious. I mean, she didn't, make some kind of obviously hyperbolic statement. She, as you pointed out, said they're literally paid agents of the Kremlin. And MSNBC's lawyers went into court and said, come on, Judge. It's Rachel fucking Maddow. No one takes that shit seriously. No, I actually don't agree with that ruling. I don't think MSNBC viewers have the discernment to know that when she makes a claim where she says literally paid Russian propaganda, that she doesn't actually mean it. I think they do think that she means it. I think this Obama-appointed judge was looking for a way to defend Rachel Maddow. Maybe you can kind of err on the side of saying, okay, we don't want journalists being sued easily, although I do think, as I said in that article, that it has become a pathology in Democratic Party politics to just simply accuse people casually like it's fun of being paid agents for the Kremlin. That whole drama that you've had with, Anna and Cenk and Aaron Mate and the whole YouTube world started because on a segment, Cenk was annoyed and did what Democratic hacks do, which is he accused Aaron Mate of being a paid agent of the Kremlin. He said he's paid by the Russians. He just fabricated that out of nowhere.
Remember this.
So I actually think that it's past time for Democrats to be sued when they do this.
Yay.
But the irony, Jimmy, is that go to Google right now and try and find news outlets reporting on that same exact argument that Rachel's lawyers made the way they did for Tucker, and you'll barely find anything, which is why I reported it, because I was amazed. I've been hearing about this for a year, even from MSNBC people. Oh, look, Tucker's own lawyers say he's full of shit and everyone knows it. And their own fucking lawyers made exactly the same argument in defense of Rachel, and she won with it. You just read it. But it's amazing how easily you can find media outlets talking about Tucker doing that and almost none of them talking about Rachel Maddow's lawyers doing.
And why is that, Chanda? Why is that? Who owns the media?
We know who owns the media. I mean, do we even have to answer that?
Yeah, it's the oligarchs, fossil fuels, all the money interests. We have a duopoly, two sides of the same coin. And right now, the shit-lib, neo-lib establishment owns the media. And they always do, but they play patty cake with the conservatives back and forth every cycle. I put this story in, and I like it so much because it's going to shore up my case for my spectator, my Monday morning quarterback on this big mess that's continuing to go on, which I know that you and Amber have expressed displeasure about, but I'm going to keep ramming my point home. So here's the third segment. I love your hair here. Can I have that hair? That's
I had that
awesome.
hair probably in 1986.
Yeah, let me give a shout out to Trash Panda. She did the last 3 graphics for this too. Thank you, Trash Panda. They are gorgeous. Anyway, this is the last of this segment here, but give this a listen. You're going to love it.
Times, the Washington Post, CBS, ABC. Operation Mockingbird is now completely obsolete. They don't need it. They do it right out in the open. Right out in the open. There was that article that was done by Revolver News and then amplified by Tucker. I also wrote about it, questioning the extent to which the FBI had informants in the 3 organizations they claim were behind the January 6th riot, the 3 percenters, the Oath Keepers, and the Proud Boys. And CNN and MSNBC, in order to debunk that story and those questions, brought on one FBI agent after the next, all of whom work for CNN and MSNBC. So there was literally a quote. Oh, this is an actual quote. Chris Cuomo was talking about this story, and he said, "Now to get the truth, my colleague, the former acting director of the FBI, Andrew McCabe, who not only was he was actually the deputy director. He called him the director.
He got caught lying.
Andrew McCabe, yeah, he got caught lying to the FBI. He was almost prosecuted for it. That's what drove him out of the FBI. He immediately goes to CNN, just like James Clapper, who lied to the Senate when he was asked whether the NSA keeps dossiers on American citizens by the millions, and he lied, which is what ultimately provoked Snowden to make the final choice to come forward with this information. After getting caught lying to the American public, CNN then goes and hires James Clapper as well. So they not only have security state agents shaping the news, they get the ones who lie on purpose to then become employees of these news organizations. That is what liberals are consuming, is propaganda from the NSA, the FBI, the CIA. And that's why when Tucker Carlson just came out with this report saying that he thinks that the NSA is spying on him, or that, you know, he got a report saying that they are, liberals just don't believe it. They don't think the NSA would do anything like that. They love the NSA. They believe the NSA with whatever they say. Liberals are authoritarians. The overarching attribute of American liberalism is reverence for institutions of authority and a reflexive belief that what they're saying is true.
I couldn't agree more. I've bumped up against it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, everything Glenn said was on fucking point. Exactly.
Yeah, and what's her name that ran for office back in the Midwest that they have on MS? She lost, and she's giving advice and commentary. MSNBS hires some of the shittiest and some of the biggest liars. Not unlike Fox. You know, I can beat the shit out of Fox. That's easy. But when you when you have the shit-lib administration now, and they own the media and what you get served up, I'm going after them, baby. Exactly. It's just the way it's got to be. Here's our next coffee. Our coffee moment. M equals MC squared. Energy equals my coffee. I think that's pretty right on. There's Albert Einstein there. Chanda, you drop this in. This is okay, Boomer, right?
Yeah. So, Boomer, you have no diggity. No dignity. Me, I pronounce it no diggity.
No diggity.
But I saw this tweet and I thought I really like how this guy put it. So he says, okay, Boomer doesn't mean okay, person born between 1946 and 1964. It means okay, person born in unique, prosperous circumstances built on the backs of colonialism, slavery, and white supremacy, who believed that this prosperity was not only normal, but legitimately earned, and who is doing everything in their power to dismiss and demise power for those not born into similar circumstances, for fear of even slightly encroaching on the immense privilege that they've only used to enrich themselves at everyone else's expense.
I can't argue with that at all. I mean, the mindset. I'm a boomer.
That's what a boomer is. You're not a boomer in the sense of okay, boomer.
No, I try and think in that 40 to 50-year-old bracket at least.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, there's no denying it. I was socially conditioned into thinking this way, and that's just what it is. I think that was a good description, truly, of that one. And I appreciate you bringing them. Any of those boomer ones, please bring them, so I can, I can vet them and make sure that I agree with them. Okay. All right. Okay. Deal? Is that a deal?
That's a deal.
All right. We got another one here. Man, oh man, went wild with Joey's coffee roaster. I would do anything for love. Stop drinking coffee, but I won't do that. That's a pop culture one. I kind of like that one. That's a good one.
You and the Joey coffee memes.
Hey, you know what? We got to get them out there. I want to support my partner, my love, with what she's trying to do, because she is supporting the hell out of Roar Media and keeping us going while we're doing our thing. This is, what the hell is this? This is, oh yeah, you turned me on to this the other day. This is
a different one. I didn't send you this one. So the one that I sent you was corporations, and I'll bring it maybe later on when I can get a better cut on it, but it's corporations telling people to have loyalty to the corporations and don't have a second job because then your loyalties are lying somewhere else. It's just fucking disgusting. It's programming. And this kid, he does a podcast. I haven't watched very much of his stuff, but he pretty much gets these corporate, rah videos that you have to watch, training videos, and he tears them apart. It's pretty funny. And this one is why we must stop working remotely. The office is what makes us human.
Oh, God, I'm going to vomit. I got a little story about this after we watch it, too.
Because I believe that the office is one of the last sort of institutions of like community and human connection.
All right, so there's this video called Why We Must Stop Working Remote from this dude who makes videos like a podcast called Diary of a CEO, and it's everything that you would think it would be. But so here's the short version.
I have a young daughter who's been working at home consistently since she went out to the world of work, and it is not good for her mental well-being.
Please speak for yourself, and let's continue. See what else this boomer has to say.
And I have watched my children get up at 8 a.m. and go straight on Zoom.
What's wrong with that? Absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's actually fantastic. Most people would probably prefer it that way than having to get up 3 hours early, make a commute, sit in traffic, and then do it all over again on the way home. But listen to her defense for this.
Where's the travel time where you listen to a podcast, or you listen to a piece of music, or you read something, or you bump into someone on the street and say, "Morning, do you fancy a coffee?" Yeah, I was.
Where's that? Well, it's whenever you want it. If you're at home, if you want time to listen to a podcast, guess what? You're in your own house, in your own office usually, or you can put headphones on and you can just listen to a podcast. Guess what? You want a little bit of travel time? You can just get up, go outside, go for a walk. Wow, would you look at that? Why do you need to have to go to an office to do this? Why does a commute need to be necessary to do this?
Where's that gone out of our lives? We take this away and we take what it is to be human.
Let me just pause this dumb lady right here. Let's recap what she said. If you take away the drive to work, if you take away asking someone if they want a cup of coffee, if you take away being able to have travel time to listen to a podcast, you take away what it means to be human. This CEO has defined what it means to be human as the office. And commuting to the office specifically, because it's not good for your mental health. That's right. There are absolute insane people like this out there who think what it means to be human involves spending every single moment of your day at the office. Absolutely insane. Again, this is called Diary of a CEO, and it's exactly as you think it'd be. It's just as out of touch as ever.
I know there's people that the sort of 40 pluses, yeah, it's nice having some time at home. I understand that. You can pick up the kids, of course, but let's get that balance. Let's get that balance. And you're right. The more we close down, the more we squeeze our little soul.
What do you think? Do you think we need to go back to the office because that's our sense of community?
No, it's not our sense. We've been programmed to be slaves. Slave labor to society in jobs that are in most cases, I think, not good for the environment. From when you get up to when you use up all that carbon, driving, commuting, all this other crap, to go enrich some other garbage,
fucker. Yeah.
doing their corporate thing, and then doing it all over again the next day. I mean, that's a workaholic.
For what? For 50 years.
For 50 years, my parents, boomer me and my parents, they're from the greatest generation. They worked their ass off for years. My mom died paralyzed in our bedroom, after 8 years. My dad died in my living room, watching years and years of old TV, Bonanza, and everything else, not having having a very humble pension and a very shitty Social Security because he was in the donut hole. Yeah. But, what qualified my mother and father's lives through all that was my dad was an activist. Till the damn week he died. He was on the phone rallying, which a lot of us are doing who have to be at home on our computer, in Zoom chats, informing, things like that. So, long story short, I was in middle management with this company down in California, and I used to go to these meetings once a year, and I have to sit in these meetings where they would have these big screen rah-rah sessions.
I hate those fucking rah-rah corporate sessions.
They were set up like TED Talks, except they were pumping horse shit in your head. Union's bad, these people, these politicians are bad, and you could really get ahead if you stick with the company, be the company person, we'll take care of you, everything else. And I'm sitting there scrunching lower in my chair, looking around at all the chumps, my fellow managers sitting around in the seats next to me going, yeah, clapping and everything else. And I'm just like feeling like throwing up in my chair because I know it's bullshit. But, I'm bad because I'm playing the damn game.
I've played the corporate game many fucking times. I've worked at a lot of big box stores. Target was probably one of the fucking worst. They'd abuse us, lock us in the fucking store for 12 hours, because we work overnights. And then they said they were going to keep half of us on after a seasonal thing.
Sure.
And literally, they made us work all night, and then they started calling us into the office one by one that morning.
Check.
But they would make us go to our lockers, and they would pat us down and go through our lockers and give us our last check. And then they'd escort us to the door, unlock the door, and put us out. So a whole bunch of us were out in the parking lot waiting for each other. Like, what the fuck bullshit was that? That was just abusive. I mean, like, checking our lockers and shit. Like, because I guess maybe if we found out we were getting fired, we'd steal something. I don't even know what the logic or mentality was.
That's the thing, that's the old timers like myself, we kind of believed in giving 2 weeks notice. I did.
No, it was just like, sorry, you no longer have a job as of now.
But as employees, we were encouraged to give 2 weeks notice so we could get a good recommendation.
Oh, always.
But when they want to get rid of you, it's fuck you out the door after we strip search you and give you your severance pay, which is nothing more than a slap in the face. So, again, if I could go back in time, we all say that, I would be more concerned about doing a job that I enjoy
Right, that's where I'm at in my life.
Instead of doing a job that keeps a roof over my head. Because,
Yeah.
hindsight being what it is, Monday morning quarterback, I know I would have survived had I gone that route. Instead of doing the old, what I was indoctrinated by my parents.
And by your schooling.
By my schooling. Get a good job. Get out there. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and all this stuff. I believe if my focus hadn't been so sharpened to doing that, to be more creative and artisan and things like that, I probably would have found something to do I would have enjoyed.
Me too, I agree.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And my apologies to those who differ with my opinion on this, but really, in your heart of hearts, you would have really, if you could have, done something that you would have enjoyed for the majority of your life. Now we're getting so broken and arthritic that we can't enjoy things like we used to. That was a good one. And I subbed to this guy.
Yeah, I did too. One of my Bernie friends sent this to me.
Yeah, no, this kid's right. I don't think he's a lazy kid. That's not his point. From what I've watched, it's not about being lazy and wanting to sit around and play video games all day. It might be, I don't know. But
no, it's about a different way of thinking and a different communication.
Right.
I watch Dan Carlin. If you know who Dan Carlin is, he has Hardcore History podcast. And I listened to a really excellent interview with him the other day where he was talking about the difference between his 5-year-old and his 10-year-old with the way that technology is progressing and how there's differences just between those 5 years, where one will do text messages and messaging where the other one will only do video chat. And what this whole generation that didn't grow up with the technology that is so quickly being released to the younger generations, it's changed. It's not the same. It would be like them, working like they did in the 1800s or the 1700s. It's totally different. Technology.
And knowledge is growing at an exponential rate every couple of minutes. So I definitely understand that.
I know mine is.
Hey, Pat, the Batman fan.
Hey, Pat, we got to get moving on this deck. This is good. We're not going to get done till midnight.
Yeah, I know.
I
know. But Pat, if you got something, send it to me, brother, so I can put it up there. Here is our next coffee mean, real quick. We've got this is kind of a dark and edgy one. To-do list: drink coffee, try not to kill anyone, repeat steps 1 and 2. That's pretty clear cut. So, for all the coffee fiends out there. Kim Iverson, I don't bring Kim a lot. I agree with her a lot. I agree with her sometimes, just like everybody. But Kim, this is a good segment, and let's just pull the lever and get going. So here we go.
And then you've got YouTube, obviously, removing videos, censoring people. You have Twitter deplatforming, right? Facebook deplatforming. We're seeing all of this happening. And yet they have the cojones to come out here and say, we're really concerned about censorship. We're raising the alarm. Governments should not be doing this. No, don't leave it to the governments. That's right. Leave it to the billionaires that own the media companies. All right, so who's behind all of these media companies? Here's from Business Insider. 6 corporations control 90% of the media in America. That's right. 6 corporations control 90%. So the illusion of choice. Look at this infographic. Here's a great one here. The illusion of choice. See if I can blow it up for you. The media has never been more consolidated. 6 media giants now control a staggering 90% of what we read, watch, or listen to. So this is what it looked like in 1983. Look at all of these choices owned by 50 different companies. Now look at what it is in 2011. 2011. This is what deregulation does for you guys. So I know a lot of you guys are more right-wing and you kind of advocate for deregulation, but there's some serious consequences to this stuff. And now now we're saying, hey, we need some regulation on this, right? They need to be regulated somewhat. These are the 6 companies. GE, they own Comcast, NBC, Universal Pictures, Focus Features, News Corp. They own Fox, Wall Street Journal, New York Post. Disney has ABC, ESPN, Pixar, Miramax, Marvel Studios, Viacom, MTV, Nick Jr., BET, CMT, Paramount, Time Warner, CNN, HBO, Time, Warner Brothers, CBS, Showtime, Smithsonian, NFL, Jeopardy, 60 Minutes, right? And so they're controlling, the big 6 control 70% of your cable. And, look, I mean, we're being fed, and it's, of course, in the areas exactly where the, Trusted News Initiative for Australia,
Yeah.
North America, and Europe, of course. And this is how they're getting us. And then there's this, look at this one here, Forbes, oddly enough. These 15 billionaires own America's news media companies. So it's not just that six companies own all of the news. Those companies are then controlled by billionaires, or billionaires have bought heavily into the companies. So you got Peter Thiel, you have Michael Bloomberg, Jeff Bezos, Comcast CEO Brian Roberts, you have Liberty Media Chairman John Malone. These are all billionaires. The richest of the rich are owning our news. So we have all of these billionaires and all of these companies, and the richest of the rich are owning our news. And here we are, we're just gobbling it up and falling in line with the narratives in our echo chamber. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
You ain't wrong. We've reported on this for a long fucking time. And
Yeah.
we've been screaming about this for a long fucking time.
Yeah, I think that was one of our first reports we did.
I do too.
And she's not. It's not like she's catching up because she's talked about this ever since. I've been following
we
her.
all been.
So
we've all been screaming on it.
kudos to Kim and everybody else who is stating this, because not the news is a slow process getting through to everyone. And information is a slow process. And this I want to make a point here. I know we're pressed on the deck, but
We're not going to make it through this deck. I'm tired. I can't go till 11.
we won't. We're doing pretty good. We are analysts here. We're original content is not our forte for the most part. So that's why we support and platform these people, so we can talk about these things. I mean, why reinvent the wheel when they've done such a good job? So,
Exactly.
and-
They're saying it the way it needs to be said, and we're saying, hey, I heard Kim say this. You got to hear it. I heard Chris Hedges say this. That's the whole point of our show.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing. So anyway, Trash Panda really liked this report. I didn't get to hear it. What is this about, Chanda?
Yeah, Inside Edition. Yeah, I hate Inside Edition, but you know what? I got to say they do a lot of off the beaten path type of stories, and this story, I totally identify with. If you've been in any major city in the U.S., you've had to deal with these guys.
All right, let's check it out.
Have electric scooters come to your town yet?
Jesus.
Around the world, they're a cheap, quick, and fun way to get around. Maybe a little too fun for some people. As Stephen Fabian explains, plenty of trips to the ER and worse are being blamed on e-scooters.
They fly down the street at speeds sometimes in excess of 50 miles per hour.
Oh!
They run red lights and can be a source of chaos on crowded city streets.
Whoa!
Watch what happens to this woman as she tries to exit a bus. She's mowed down by a guy on an electric scooter.
She returned here to her husband's hometown.
Earlier this month, actress Lisa Baines, best known for playing Ben Affleck's mother-in-law in the movie Gone Girl, was killed while crossing Amsterdam Avenue on New York's Upper West Side. A scooter ran a red light and smashed into the actress. It happened right here. Police say the suspect fled the scene and remains at large. Here's Les Trent.
Many critics say e-scooters like this are becoming a dangerous nuisance on congested streets across the nation. So how much havoc are they causing? To find out, we hit the streets of New York City to see for ourselves.
In a matter of minutes, we saw scooters blowing through red lights.
You just ran right through a red light.
What?
You just went right through a red light. That's fine.
We watched as electric scooters bobbed and weaved in and out of traffic.
I almost got killed twice.
Susan Dressner says she's scared to walk down the street.
You have the electric bikes, you have scooters, and they're going on the sidewalks now.
You're not supposed to be on the sidewalk.
If they run into me, I'm a goner.
The injuries can be catastrophic.
Ankle fractures, hip fractures, shoulders, the bone here, the humerus, skull fractures. We've had neck injuries.
Dr. Daniel Murphy runs the emergency room at St. Barnabas Hospital in New York.
Just drive around here and it is a free-for-all.
And it's not just city streets. It's happening all across the country with knuckleheads like this riding scooters down crowded highways.
Bro, what are you doing? Bro, what are you doing?
There's now a call to stiffen the legal penalty for scooter drivers who hit pedestrians and then flee the scene.
What?
Yeah, that's what's happening. I was shocked the first time I started seeing these a couple of years back. You go into these big cities now, Seattle, Portland, DC, New York. They've got these scooters and they're fucking everywhere. They have bikes too, but these scooters, and you literally can just walk up to one with your credit card, wave your credit card over it, and start it up and ride off. And so they're ditched everywhere. I mean, at night you'll just see them on sidewalks, and they're everywhere. And somebody will go around at night and pick them all up, and they put them back in the collection sites or wherever they're at. But yeah, this is a new phenomenon across the country.
Well, I have issues with this, and I know that, hey, they're saving gas and they're doing all this other stuff, but
Right.
you know what? There's rules in Washington State. The pedestrians have the right of way and things like that, and even the pedestrians abuse that. I mean, like they will run up to up to a corner to kind of like chum the car to have to stop because of this law, because
I'm a pedestrian. You better stop for me.
Because they're sick. They're mentally ill. I mean, take a little responsibility. I don't go out of my way to run people over, but don't go out of your way to get run over either. That's my thing. So again, that's a big issue. But these scooters, and that actress, and it was an actress that got clocked, so she made the headlines.
Right.
I feel so sorry for her and her family, as I would anybody that's been killed. And how many of these scooter people get whacked too?
Right,
so it's
right.
not a healthy thing. I used to ride, I rode a bike. I had a scooter, except it was a Yamaha 250, one of those Morphuses, those low-level It wasn't a crotch rocket, but yeah. And
it was a Vespa, wasn't it?
It was the beefiest Vespa I've ever gone on, And when a big guy like me gets going 75 miles an hour down the road, it makes you kind of nervous. So So anyway,
there goes my stuff.
yeah, good report there. I think that's that's something. Now this is the one I alluded to earlier. Over 200 groups demand no water privatization in infrastructure deal, in any infrastructure deal. That's in the infrastructure deal? Privatization? What the hell? In a letter.
You know they sneak all that shit in.
Yeah, well, this is to grease somebody's palm for donations. The letter states, we, the underside, 218 organizations, oppose the bipartisan infrastructure framework that promotes privatization, and we urge you to reject and water privatization in all its forms and fight for bold, uncompromising infrastructure package that provides federal funding at the level our communities urgently need. The letter also outlines what they're saying, against private waterization. Water privatization is incredibly expensive financing option. Water privatization will lead to rate hikes on households already struggling to afford other water bills. I mean, Jesus, I'm on a well, but I'm hearing horror sales from cities and counties what their damn water bills are. Water privatization is not viable or just a solution for rural, small, or disadvantaged communities. Water privatization can trap communities in expensive deals. Water privatization is not a solution for our nation's water needs. And communities need real federal dollars spent on drinking water and wastewater infrastructure. I do not disagree with any of those statements because it's happening right now. So there again, they're trying to give the water away to a group of money-hungry profiteers, just like they've given away the medical insurance.
Trying, they fucking are.
Everything else. This is just bullshit. And anytime you hear bipartisanship, that means how they're going to fuck you guys over.
That's what that means.
That's exactly what that means. I have one here. This is a stellar one that Oz, I'm speaking about myself in the third person because my head actually did blow up when I read this, so I had to respond to Representative Rashida Tlaib on this. I was furious when I read this bullshit. Rashida Tlaib, it's been time. Don't need to poll to tell me people want access to health care. Lower the age and get it done. And this is from Pramila Jayapal. It's time. Well, I responded to both of them down here. People want access to health care? Wrong. People want fully funded universal health care for all. This access crap has been shit-libbed line of garbage for decades. Both of you should be ashamed of yourselves. Sincerely, recovering Democrat chump. Thank you. And, you know, I try not to get out there and throw shade, but that was just the most absurd horse shit this week that I got to see, June 23rd. So that was from last week's show. So do you disagree with me, Chanda?
No, I don't disagree with you.
Oh, fuck. I just lose my shit. Anyway, we've got another meme up here. We've got the squad in all their glory. I recognize them from somewhere. Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know
I do too.
where that is? Go ahead, Fee.
Like somebody we know.
Fee, sushi them up. Pasta, do the dance. We love it. Thank you, too, for joining us on that. Got another coffee meme. Joey's Coffee Roaster. The look you get if you talk to me before I've had my coffee, just don't do it. And that's like one of those sketchies from the Dark Crystal looking kind of thing. So I kind of like that one. That was...
You save coffee means like I save anti-government.
Well, you know, I like I said, I want to be supportive of my partner because she's so...
Being an extremist.
Yeah, she's so supportive of us and what we're trying to do. And thank you all
I love them. I'm going to start sending you coffee memes. Start sending us coffee memes.
I belong to a group that does... That's all they do. They've been doing coffee memes for the last 5 years. I will never run out of coffee memes, but we're trying to find some good ones. Here's another stellar one from Rashida Tlaib. Tamir Rice was only 12 when he was murdered by police. Yes. How many more birthdays will come before Tamir, and so many before and after him see real justice in our communities? And Anthony, our brother Anthony, just responded perfectly. Didn't you just vote present on a bill to fund Capitol Police to the tune of billions more that I even just one no vote would have stopped? Thank you, Anthony. Break it off in their damn eye with their bullshit, their virtue signaling, all that stuff. We have got to push back and let these cucks know that we're not going to take it anymore. And before we get into this next segment, and once we're through this segment, we're home free. Let me see. Oh,
what are you talking about? We still have a half a show.
No.
Anna Maris dropped us a nice ray over there, and she says there are commentators, then there's Roar Media. The difference is you get involved in your communities and your local politics on the ground, speaking at and supporting protests. That makes you a different breed altogether, and very few channels do that. Thank you, Anna Maris.
That's
that's
just
true.
super wonderful, Anna. We appreciate it. We don't want to let any of you down, so that's why we're trying to do what we do. And I apologize if any of our segments or skits rub you guys wrong, but we're not.
We're only human.
We're only human. We're going to talk about it if Chanda wants to or not. Anyway,
right.
Let's take a breather here because we've got our Steve Cutler here, and I've got to take a break, and I'll be listening. Steve Cutler, Steve, I really like this one, and I like the sound effects. So Steve Cutler live, here we go, and I will be listening. We will be back. Steve does a wonderful job on this.
The candidates came on TV, called each other names. A fight broke out between some fans at a baseball game. One man built a mansion and another built a shack. Guardsmen put a bullet in a college student's back. Whoa, it's not a melting pot. We're living in a pressure cooker. Temperature is hot. Everybody wants something the other person's got. Whoa. I love Pete Seeger. Protest over everything from fetuses to whales. And honest folks who like to talk are taken up to jails. Together we just bicker, but divided you would fall. A nation under nothing, we're united not at all. Whoa. We're living in a pressure cooker. Temperature is hot. Everybody wants something that the other person's got. Whoa. Living in a pressure cooker. Living in a pressure cooker. Pressure cooker. It's not a melting pot. Well, the protest over everything from fetuses to whales. And honest folks who like to talk are taken off to jails. Together we just bicker, but divided we would fall. A nation under nothing, we're united not at all. Oh, it's not a melting pot. Living in a pressure cooker. Temperature is hot. Everybody wants something that the other person's got. Whoa.
He knows I love his jams. That
nicely
was so
done. Nicely
well,
done. Yeah. Nicely done. Yeah, Steve, I hear you. And you know the last big segment we've got, you know, again, I got to talk about it. But anyway, we have we have another coffee meme here. I won't do this all the time, but this is kind of like the premiere of my insanity. So before we get into this, I'm so proud of myself. I've cut back to 1 cup a day. So yeah, it's funny, Shant. Come on.
It is funny.
We got to have some fun. We really do, because things are getting really, really brutal out there. Let me see what I've got here. I want to bring, I want to get through this segment. Where? I think what I'm going to do is we're going to get Pat in here next. Let's just bring Pat in. He did something special for us today, and I'm going to bring him in right now so we can have back-to-back performances. So Pat the Batman fan brought us an ode to paranoia. And
nice.
I have not heard this, so we're all getting a treat here. So here we go. Pat, take it away there, buddy. Pat, are you there, Pat? Oh, there he is.
Hi.
Don't come round here no more. Can't you see that it's late at night? I'm very tired and I'm not feeling right. All I wish is to be alone. Stay away, don't you invade my home. Best off if you hang outside. Don't come in, I'll only run and hide. Who can it be now? Who can it be now? Can it be now? Who can it be now? Who can it be knocking at my door? Make no sound, tiptoe across the floor. If he hears, he'll knock all day. I'll be trapped, and here I'll have to stay. I've done no harm, I keep to myself. There's nothing wrong with my state of mental health. I like it here with my childhood friend. Here they come, those feelings again. Who can it be now? 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 Please let the man come to take me away. Why do they follow me? It's not the future that I can see. It's just my fantasy.
God, Pat, if I did that,
Love Men at Work.
I would have.
Awesome.
God, I'd have a hernia if I tried to hit some of those high notes, Pat. Well
I
done.
know, right?
I'd be going,
Well done. Well done.
Well done, Pat. Thank you, Pat. We appreciate that very, very much. All right, everybody saddle up. I hope everybody hit the bathroom. This is going to be. I'm going to try and get through this as quickly, or should I say expeditiously, as possible.
Okay, well, know that I got somebody waiting to go live, so you know what I'm saying.
It's like kicking the ass and get going there. We're just now coming up on 150. We're okay, aren't we? We gonna make it, Chanda. We gonna make it. How to be emotionally strong and have thick skin. Tips for taking criticism. Well, my whole point with this whole drama, which isn't a drama, I think it's point well made, is going to be summed up right here. And then I'm going to go through what I've got. So my point is that if you let these outfits that play at being progressive grow, get stronger, and keep uninforming their base, you're creating a monster. And Glenn Greenwald makes my point here very clear. So let's give it a listen.
Upset by the way that the NSA is reading a news person's emails. That doesn't seem to bother him at all. Isn't that a problem, Glenn?
The ignorance of that rant is so multifaceted and multi-pronged that it would take hours to dissect. But let me just say, I find it so, I mean, the unwellness of Keith Olbermann is manifest at this point. I mean, you just listen to him and, you know, I personally feel pity. Like, he's clearly unwell. But I think it's important to take note of the fact that he's like the godfather of contemporary liberal media. He was the person who made MSNBC into what it is. He was the one who spawned it. His success in finding a liberal audience and delivering those kind of rants is what then engendered Rachel Maddow and Chris Hayes and Lawrence O'Donnell. They're all working within his creation.
He created that monster.
Their godfather, like kind of the guru of how liberals speak and how they deliver the news. And if you notice what he's saying, I mean, there's so many ignorant parts of it that I won't bore you with in terms of how the NSA functions and how they gather information. But if you listen to what he says, it's exactly that mentality of authoritarianism I was describing earlier, which is his assumption is that if the NSA is targeting you or somebody with whom you're speaking, that in and of itself proves that you are a bad person and a threat to American national security, because the NSA would never, ever target anybody except terrorists or other kinds of enemies of the United States. Imagine the authoritarianism required to believe that. During the 2016 election, we know that the NSA targeted Carter Page, who had been affiliated with the Donald Trump campaign, and the FBI, in order to get that warrant, lied to the FISA court, and the FBI lawyer who prepared those warrants was prosecuted for that, and he pled guilty to it. The reporting that we did for years that won the Pulitzer was all about how the NSA spies on peace activists and for commercial advantage, and they spy on human rights agencies and on Amnesty International and foreign governments, including ones with whom the United States is allied. They fucking spy on everybody. And Keith Olbermann knows that, but his brain, like so many liberal brains, is completely broken by the Trump years, that he looks at the NSA as his ally, as his protector, and believes in their inherent goodness to such an extent that he said right there, if the NSA is spying on you or someone with whom you're communicating, it means you are a bad person, a criminal, someone a threat to the United States who ought to be fleeing the United States if you know what's good for you. That is fascism in its purest form.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and
fascism.
Yeah, Glenn kicks. He nails it out of the park. It is fascism. It's huge, and these guys aren't useful idiots. They're obedient idiots.
Yeah, they are.
They are obedient idiots. They're playing the game either for profit or prestige or power. Not this guy. He's worth like $100 million plus bucks.
Yeah, what is he?
But other people down the road. And this is my point with this whole Aaron Matei, Jimmy Dore, Kyle Kalinske, all of them, the TYT thing.
Crystal,
we have
Don't let your girl off the hook. She had Jink's fucking nephew on.
We can't pretend like we're the adults in the room. We don't want anything to do with this. And then we talk about how it's wrong and this is bullshit and everything else. If you're going to talk about it. If you're not, if you're going to decry it as being childish in high school, get the fuck out of the conversation. Now, I'm dragging Chanda into this. I apologize.
Yeah, you drugged me into it kicking and screaming for a couple of weeks now, but I'm just going to say this. Of course, I've got Jimmy Dore's back. I don't see this as Jimmy Dore's drama. I see this as TYT's fucking drama. They started this shit because they're fucking ratings are tanking. They can't get any subs. They can't get any fucking viewers because people are waking up to their bullshit and their bad reporting and their misreporting and their lack of reporting, and that they are corporate bought out. And Kyle injected himself into this shit. He didn't have to, but he did. And Kyle's wrong. Kyle is flat fucking wrong for the position that he took.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
You got to call it out.
Yeah.
You have to call out Anna's using the Me Too movement as a fucking weapon. You know, we saw what she did.
Yeah.
7 years later, no.
We did. And I'm going to keep beating this dead horse at least for another week here. But tonight for sure.
Thanks for the warning.
So, yeah, but honest to God, you know, the hypocrisy. This reminds me of Force the Vote, of those who didn't. And Kyle came out in supporting Force the Vote, okay? And I'm going to punch. People talk about you're doing it for clicks and you're punching left and you're splitting up. You know what? Jesus Christ. No, I'm not. I'm holding those accountable at their word.
They're the ones that are fucking doing it for clicks.
Yeah, they're doing it for clicks. And let me get through this. Otherwise, we will be here all night. Okay, we're going to the next clip here. This is Kyle, okay? Kyle Kulinski was born January 1931, 1988, family Polish Italian descent. Hey, Pasta, you got a cousin. He was born and raised in New York suburbs, Westchester County, New York. He graduated from New Rochelle High School in 2006 and Iona College in 2010 with a bachelor's degree in political science and a minor in psychology. Kulinski credits his father's premature death due to inadequate health care. I feel for you, Brother Kyle. In 2003, the invasion of Iraq. In his teenage years, studying works of Noam Chomsky as helping shape his political views. That being said, yeah, I agree with Kyle a lot. I don't agree with all his goddamn takes. As a matter of fact, I called him a fucker because he called us a fucker last week when we disagreed. But I still like him. I still follow him. But I want you guys to pay attention to these next 3 sets. And this one made me go crazy. This is so below what I expect from Kyle. I can't tell you.
Anymore. I should have said no matter how fucking ridiculous.
You mean you'll stop commenting on her thong?
On her thong. That I could see. So let's bring in Max. Now, Max, where would you like to take the conversation?
Yeah, this isn't really where I thought the conversation was going to go. I don't have the same history with these people, so. I have no problem with Anna Kasparian's style of dress.
Let's talk to
we don't have a dress code at the Gray Zone. People can show up however they want.
My reaction as I was listening to that live, and by the way, I was with Crystal when it happened, we started cringing more and more the more Jimmy talked. And ultimately, my reaction was exactly like Max Blumenthal's. In that moment, we are all Max Blumenthal.
Horse shit.
And understand something, guys. My issue is actually not with the original incident that Jimmy's talking about there. Now, to be fair, Jimmy says, hey, it was a bad joke. Anna says it wasn't a bad joke. It was Jimmy commenting on me in a sexual way in front of my students. Her students were in the room at the time. Now, I wasn't there. I'll never know exactly what happened. I don't think Jimmy's a sex pest. I don't think he's a criminal. I don't think this is a hashtag Me Too thing. But my issue with the thing we just saw is what he just said right there. Oh, she dresses inappropriate. Inappropriate? Who the fuck are you to determine what isn't appropriate for her? Are you a fundamentalist Christian?
Back at you,
I mean, that's
Kyle.
like some hardcore Republican thing to say. And if I'm being objective about this, even though Jimmy's my friend, if somebody spoke about my mom or my sister or my girlfriend like that, it would take every fiber of my being to not want to beat the shit out of them. Because that's humiliating. And he admits that it was a humiliating thing in the segment. But then it doesn't occur to you that maybe bringing this up again and talking about it in the way you're talking about it is like gonna humiliate her yet again? That doesn't occur to you? So listen.
Who the fuck brought it up?
Yeah.
He didn't bring it up. She brought it up through a woke attempt at blackmail. Okay? And he reacted to it. Again, beating the shit out of somebody and equivocating himself with we are all Max Blumenthal here and that to me shits on those of us who say we are all Julian Assange, in this, you know what I'm getting at there? It just hit me so fucking wrong and shitty. But here's the response that we got from Gus. The guy's name's not Gus. I can't remember his name, but I got this from Gus. I'm sorry, Gus. I screwed it up. And Comrade Misty here talks about Kyle being, shitty in 100 times worse way than saying nice news dress. But check this out. This guy, I love what this guy said.
And he tweeted out, if Cenk Uygur masturbates live on the Young Turks, viewers drops to 12 people. If Anna Kasparian does, viewers go up to 6,000. Hashtag TYT Live.
Whoa. Holy shit.
And Anna jokes along with him. Wow, only 6,000, Kyle?
Holy shit. So that's why Kyle is not going to address the
this segment
Howard Sternification of the Young Turks, because he was participating in that shit himself. Okay, so let me get this straight. Jimmy is bad because he said nice news skirt. Cenk is okay though for talking about Anna's booty. You got junk in the trunk there on a live show. So Jimmy is gross, and Kyle has to restrain himself from giving Jimmy and I Jammy for saying such a horrible thing, and yet he tweets about Anna masturbating and how many people would watch her masturbating in public. And he's saying Anna could get 6,000 people to watch her masturbate. And then Anna responds by saying, I'm offended. And I was fooled because I was like, holy shit. But right under it, I'll take the screenshot. Right under it, she says, only 6,000? But let me get this straight. It is 2021. That was, what did Bricktown say, 2013? That was 7 years ago. You know what else happened 7 years ago? That's right. Jimmy said, nice news skirt, Anna. Did he publish it on Twitter? No. Did he do it live, Kyle? No. Oh, okay. So that's why Kyle.
I haven't seen that, and that is a major fucking hypocritical fucking burn on Kyle.
Yeah.
You should just be quiet, son, and sit down.
Yeah, hell with Oz's opinion on this. I'm not unique. I have an opinion, and I'm pro, doing the right thing. But all this crap, and there's... Anyway, here's the next one. Now, this is Jimmy's response and to this, and we got a couple more, and they're really important. I hope you guys stick around that are willing to endure this, because I think I found some stuff that really, when it gets back to Jimmy, he's going to either appreciate it or not so much. But let's take a look here.
And at 5 to 10, I texted them both saying, hey, I have this on my calendar today. Are we still doing it? And they ghosted me.
They ghosted him. He was scheduled to do a show, but they ghosted him. This is when all the shit broke. Okay.
What show was that ghosted him?
Kyle and Crystal and friends.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, let me continue.
They decided not to have me on the show, and they didn't tell me. They didn't send me an email the day ahead of time, or even the day, or whatever. Nothing. And they didn't respond to my text when I sent it to them. They just ghosted me. And then about 2.5 hours later, in the afternoon, so I was supposed to do it at 10 a.m., around 12:30, they sent me a text. And here's the text, okay?
Yeah.
And the reason why I bring this up is because Kyle brought it up. So now that's why I'm bringing this up. So I'm going to tell you. So here's my text. Are we doing a show today? My calendar says we are. And Kyle says, hey, Jimmy. So again, that was, at 2.5 hours later, after they ghosted me, he says, hey, Jimmy, we are trying to stay as far away from the war between you and Aaron and TYT as possible. On the policy, we agree much more with you, Russia, Syria, forced to vote, etc. We're disturbed by Anna's attacks on Aaron, but we also didn't like the way you talked about Anna's dress.
Fuck.
Huh?
What?
Jesus Christ.
Effing F? Are you kidding me? That's my good friend? Making a false equivalency, validating a complete, transparently bullshit attack? Yes.
And is Anna your executive? Is Anna the executive in this situation?
Yes, she's the executive in the situation.
Huh.
As friends of you and Cenk and Anna, we're pressing pause on having anyone involved on the show.
Oh, it gets so worse.
We're sorry, Jimmy. Hope you understand. So they didn't press pause, though. They didn't. So they could have just stopped there. Hey, Jimmy, we are trying to stay as far away from as possible. They could have just stopped there. They didn't. They had to keep going. And it got insulting. And so it was already insulting because they ghosted me and they didn't give me a heads up that they had decided to cancel me until after we were supposed to do it. Super rude and unprofessional. But that's okay. I'll handle it. So I sent them a text back, and here it is, but I'll read it to you. I said, I'm stunned by this. You are trying to draw a ridiculous false equivalency that ultimately takes the sides of a blackmailing and smearing of me and a McCarthyite smear of Aaron. The way I talked about Anna's dress amounted to me saying nice news skirt. I told this joke at a time when Anna and Cenk were doing segments such as mocking Britney Spears' old cooch in their effort to become the Howard Stern show. And the way I responded to Anna's embarrassment at my joke was to apologize and send her a card immediately without a pressure campaign or threat of a blackmail, as a friend would do. You are somehow trying to draw an equivalency between that incident 7 years ago and what Anna and Cenk are doing now. This includes refusing to apologize for smearing Aaron for doing anti-war and factual journalism, and then facing embarrassment over it, trying to blackmail me and then smearing me with an insane claim of sexual harassment. This is hugely toxic to the progressive movement and to the cause of Me Too. It is clearly the only reason Anna and Cenk are doing this is to deflect from the flack they took for smearing Aaron. They're exploiting and cheapening a very serious issue, and he's validating it. Now you claim that you want to stay away from the war? It's not a war. It's a pro-war smear campaign against me and Aaron by pressing pause on it, you're taking the sides of the smear artists. You're signaling that their behavior is acceptable to you. And it doesn't matter who is friends with who. It's your right to be friends with Spot the Celebrity Camel Toe misogynists and McCarthyite pro-war smear artists. The question is whether that kind of behavior is acceptable to the progressive left or not. Rest assured that if anyone tried to do such an awful thing to you, I wouldn't be pressing pause to avoid it. I'd be speaking out against it. Like I did with my friend Aaron Mate. So no, I can't possibly understand what you're doing here.
I thought that was an appropriate response all the way around. I mean, really, it's fair. And, this...
You got a right to defend yourself.
Yeah, he's got a right to defend himself. So, and I know. And the next two, there's two more. Yeah, there's two more here. And then after that, we'll get out of this skit and start heading out the door. I picked this up from a show that happened to happen. I think it was, Friday or the day before. And I was blown away. Somebody turned me on to this ahead of time, and I figured, okay, I'll watch it. Check this out.
Make the message go further. And the fact that there's people that criticize that shows them out for being frauds. Because if you're about the message, then you're not going to ghost people. And this is ultimately what was my issue with Jimmy Dore. I don't care about any of the other drama. I don't care what he says. I really don't care. I'm a very live and let live. The fact that he ghosted us when we were running on the same issues that he was a proponent of, that indicates fraud to me. You don't get to say, I so believe in Medicare for all that I'm willing to fight with everybody and their mother, but I'm going to ignore the one candidate who's challenging the person who I hate the most. That's a fraud.
And here's a great example of the one thing, well, there are some, but this is one particular thing that Jimmy is right about.
Okay. Chanda.
I don't agree is all I have to say is I don't agree.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into it with Jen there, but it sounded to me like she was calling Jimmy a fraud.
Yeah.
That's not good form.
Yeah, how is Jimmy a fraud?
He's been pushing for Medicare for all, for forced to vote forever. And because you're butthurt because he didn't invite you on stage at an event down in Florida and he ate your gummy bears, you're going to come back with this. Not good form, Jen. I'm sorry. And Peter.
Little projection.
Yeah, Peter. Really, Peter? The one thing that Jimmy gets right? Man, wow, dude. Really? So anyway, you notice who was in the bottom of that, right? That was Jordan Chariton.
Yeah.
And he said nothing or didn't even try and say Jimmy's friend, Jordan Chariton. I wouldn't have sat there if she was going off on my friend. And people say, you cut that out of context. No, I didn't. He was sitting there.
What does Jordan say? Jordan says, hit the like button and give me money.
Yeah. I mean, Jordan, I would, integrity is one thing. And God knows I'm so fucking far from perfect. I enjoy being that far because I don't have that pressure on me. But I do try and be honest and sincere. But for him to sit there and not immediately say, whoa.
Not push back, yeah.
Yeah, whoa. I would have interrupted her instead of letting her finish her statement, So that's Jimmy's friend there.
Sure.
Anyway, Jordan Chariton, University of Tampa, reporter for TYT, been around, Culver City, Standing Rock, national, let me get it here. I'm just blowing through his resume. The Donna Brazile thing in 2016, the WikiLeaks scandal, Standing Rock, North Dakota. He worked at MSNBS. He worked at Fox. He's got some cred, as far
the
as...
Donna Brazile thing was the best thing he ever did. And, I've been friends with Jordan for a long time. And, I always propped him up for his good work. When he called Donna Brazile out that and put her on the fucking spot like that, I immediately messaged him, fucking hell of a job today. That's exactly the type of reporting we fucking need in this country. Yeah. And he's not so much like that anymore, is he?
No, he's not. And unfortunately, and I don't fault him. He does good stories. And this is a clip that I had to cut, and I tried not to take things out of context, but it was an hour and 15 minutes long, so I got to cut down. I got it cut down to a little over 2 minutes, and then I'll get into this. But this is Jordan Chariton being very sincere and honest with everybody. I think honest, no, sincere, maybe.
I want to say a few other things. Somebody asked, why don't you say who you're talking about? I'm deliberately not saying who I'm talking about. Not because I'm a chicken shit. I do not give a shit. I don't want to give them any more clickbait ammunition. That's the legitimate reason that I'm not saying who I'm talking about. But I think everybody here is smart enough to know there's a few channels, just look it up, who have been covering Jimmy, TYT, Aaron into perpetuity for 4 weeks. I'm not interested in giving these channels more room to, then I get in the cycle and this and that. I'm kind of with Kyle Kalinske. I didn't watch his whole video today, but he did a video. I don't want to get involved with this shit because I'm covering real shit. Sorry. But I'm not going to hide how disgusted I am. Secondly, whether you're a commentator, an analyst.
Analyst, thank you. Commentator, analyst.
You have a responsibility to inform your viewers and to counter the corporate media propaganda.
Remember your words.
Because Kyle actually cares, and he's not just a clickbait machine.
There you go.
And because he doesn't have ego the size of Texas and is willing to elevate others. We need your support to grow. We're dealing with multiple obstacles, primarily YouTube. We got 120,000 subscribers. When we're live, we should normally be going.
You tell us every show.
People. We're lucky if we crack 300 most days. Levon, $4.99. Like I've mentioned before, there are some progressive outlets that you don't respect. Isn't it time to patch up the difference? No, I don't respect certain. This is just in life. If I don't respect you, if I don't think you are a good faith actor, if I think in some cases you are dangerous, what do I have to patch it up with you? You watch whoever you want. If you want to watch certain channels that I don't respect, that's fine. I'm not telling you not to. But no, I'm not going to patch up things with channels that I don't respect, channels that I don't actually think are progressive, channels that I think are pushing disinformation and not correcting it. No. Call me a journalist, but I'm not going to do that.
Call me a journalist.
Yeah, and one of those channels, he got into it with our sister Fee and brother P and Johnny over there at the Convo Couch, and I think he's I'm not sure.
I think that's who he's referencing.
I think he's referencing that. I challenge him to prove what they said wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
And
they do bring facts.
Yeah, that day that he lost his shit, he was telling us in his chat to fuck off.
Yeah.
And go ahead and watch him because he didn't need us. In the same breath, you can donate to my stuff. We need all this money. So, maybe he should ask himself, do you think it's your approach on how warm and open you are with your viewers that is why you only get 300 people watching a day? Because you are doing some good reporting. I mean, Flint, great reporting. Dude, I just think you're a narcissistic egomaniac.
Exactly. He does great reporting. Jordan really does. But yeah you got to get past his fucking ego and his give me money.
Get over yourself, fucker. And I'll say one more thing. Jimmy, Jordan ain't your friend.
No, Jimmy is so high above Jordan.
Yeah, but Jimmy always says, our friend, and that's his business. Have your fucking friends. But when your friends don't even, defend you, and he throws this kind of shade on what they're going through over there with Aaron Matei and TYT, I don't want to get involved. I want to be the adult in the room and all this other bullshit. No. This is important because they're going to decry us and they're going to weigh in, even though they say they're not. He just weighed in and several times. So again, this is important. Back to my first point on this thing, and I'll do the last video. And I'm sorry I had to do this, but it's hard to explain it in less than 15 minutes. But
yeah, I know.
The whole thing is when you have a monster like Keith Olbermann, a la Katzenberg buying up social media companies like TYT, when you've got MSNBS and CNN using their platforms to bullshit non-critical or people who don't get into or understand what's going on, you got to push back and you got to say something. This Russiagate thing, this Trump derangement syndrome did break people's brains. Jesus Christ.
Fucking did.
Tom Hartman's got his brains leaking out his mouth. Trump.
I know. Did you see me? I went after him yesterday.
Yeah, and Tom, come on, you're better than this. But this is the level we're at. So lastly, I'm going to offer this cut here. And I got to tell you, Jesus Christ, I am tired of this too, but I am not going to sit by and not take a position on this. I'm not going to try and play the adult because I'm not an adult. I'm a human being that's been around for almost 62 years. And I've seen a lot of shit, high school and otherwise. This is important because we need to unite and not be divisive. And if everybody would just sit in a room together and work this shit out, I was wrong, you were wrong, let's get on with it and get on to the important stuff. But this is important because it's the housekeeping issue of the progressive movement. We've got to learn to keep better house. Here we go. This is
always been our problem.
Always been our problem because we think too much. Okay, this is it. This is shorter.
So now Kyle went on to do a segment with Cenk Uygur's nephew instead of me. That is hardly staying out of it. And he and the subject, of course, came up. And here's how they covered it.
They stay out of like all the fucking Jimmy Dore drama or whatever the fuck's going on at any given moment. Like people will always come in and they're like, dude, what do you think about this? I'm like, no.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah, Jesus
shut
Christ.
the fuck up. Like, I look,
We are
I
all
would much
simpatico
rather,
there.
Simpatico.
I would
Crystal?
much rather talk about, like literally using a pocket pussy than that. Which I do. I talk about a variety of different things. I just don't think that like
it's just hilarious that they're all Good thing he didn't say nice news. Anyway, so they're laughing off. They're framing it as Jimmy Dore drama, which is unbelievably disingenuous and a disservice to what's happening. And it's a dishonest framing by news people.
Exactly.
Who should know better, and they do know better because I already told them. Because they're doing that. I already sent them that text. They already know this. Everything I wrote in that text, Kyle knows this. And so for Kyle to then go on and do a segment where he fails to mention Anna Blackman, well, here, we'll get to it. Do you want to respond to
Jimmy,
that?
Yeah,
Aaron?
listen, so that clip right there, when I saw that to me opens up, with that clip, I think that they invited themselves up to criticism. People are wondering why we're talking about this now.
That's right.
That clip right there was basically belittling, I think. That's why I took it, the concerns that we have. Because it's one thing if you want to decide, look, I don't want to comment on an issue. You don't have to comment on an issue. No one's going to force you. I personally was disappointed that people like them stayed silent. If they had been smeared like that, I think I can confidently say that I would have spoken up because I don't think that kind of smearing should be tolerated. But whatever, you can't demand that someone speak up for you, okay? But to say, if they just said, you know what, we don't want to talk about this, period. But then they don't just say that. Then they try to justify it by doing two things. One is they draw, as you told them, this false equivalency between a joke you made 7 years ago and you apologized for, and what they did, which is smearing me and then trying to blackmail you with this ridiculous sexual harassment claim, okay? There's no equivalency between that. And that's why, as you said, it's not a war, it's a smear campaign. And then going publicly and actually commenting on it by basically belittling the whole thing and dismissing it as Jimmy Dore drama. It's not Jimmy Dore drama. It's us pushing back against the smear campaign, which we have the right to do. And if you're gonna belittle us for doing that, you're basically taking the side of the smear campaign.
That's right.
You're basically saying that like there's something wrong with us pushing back against it.
And of all of these so-called adults in the room, I think Aaron Mattei is the most adult of all of them on this issue, I think, So that's...
Yeah, the chat's got me cracked up. You guys are just fucking going off. You're fucking hilarious. And I want to shout out to all of the rays that have been donated over there. A-Rim and Al Walski and J9 Campbell. Thank you guys so much for all your support.
Yeah, I do. And thank you for enduring this. I don't know what they're saying in the chat. Are they calling me full of shit and stuff or whatever?
No. It's getting kind of raunchy over there in roars.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Let's cut to 85, Chanda.
Why don't we hit the dance off? What's on 85?
Yeah.
Hit the dance off.
Let's cut to 85 and get into the dance off. Actually, let's go to 83. Well, here, we'll kick it off. 82, we got another coffee bean. Will you drink coffee with me with a coffee bean? Joey's Coffee. Love that. That's cute. And then, did you bring this? I think you did this. This is terrible.
Suicide help hotline. How can I help you? I'd like to place an order.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to place an order. Yeah. This was Stoner Corner. This is yours. I love it.
We're still debating if it's okay to give veterans medical marijuana for PTSD, because marijuana is dangerous, unlike war that we're in. Am I high, or is this sun giving this guy a shoulder rub?
Yeah, Trash Panda and I were just laughing our ass off at that today. And of course, you had to reface me here. Thank you.
This is my favorite one, I think, of tonight.
This is great.
This is my number one liked post on Facebook. This is my entire friend request lately. Absolutely.
Absolutely. There you go.
I gotta say that you make an amazing David Lee Roth.
Yeah, thanks for the hair. I appreciate it. It's much better than that bald cop last week.
Well, we're gonna get punked for it, so go ahead. You really do look like him.
Yeah, I looked closer to it in my day. So he's a tall guy. I'm just barely scratching 6, and he's like 6'2", I think.
Oh, really?
Dance off time. Okay, everybody, here you go. It's who's ahead? Chanda's ahead.
I haven't even seen this one. You created this one a couple weeks ago.
This is pretty sick. All right. I get to go first because I'm a loser. This is Oz. Everybody pick your champion. Oz goes first.
Oh, nice food. Yeah, nice hair, nice boots.
I love that one. I think I do so well there. Okay, it's your turn.
I have a sword.
All right.
Creepy.
All right. That's a little
I think
creepy.
Oz wins. I think Oz has got this.
I don't know. That's pretty good. You get nailed with a rolling pin and have a sword. I mean, it's everything that
I turn into a cookie.
its dreams are made of.
Yeah,
Really, really crazy. Anyway, throw your votes out there, everybody, in the don't get good move.
Nice
Okay,
moves.
thank you. Thank you.
Wicked
Thank you.
nice
Thank you.
moves,
Thank you. Throw. Yeah. Anyway, Steamy Oz. Thanks, Lucky. I appreciate that. I'll keep an eye on it. Let's move along in the deck. We're going into Hollywood here real quick. We got some weird stuff at Hollywood. What is this?
Oh, so a judge just ruled that there's going to be new documents released from Ghislaine Maxwell about her relationship with the Clintons. And among the documents will be her financial records, lawyer demands documents, including fundraisers received from the Clinton Global Initiative and the Clinton Foundation. And Clinton flew on Epstein's plane dozens of times, and photographs show the former president with the financier and Maxwell. So all of this shit's supposed to be released in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, I can't wait. Talk about drama.
Right? Talk about drama. I know.
Drama.
Judge dropped that on Thursday. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. We're going to have some good dirt.
I got some bad news for you, Shanda.
No, what's that?
I think I sweeped you this week.
Yeah, I know. I knew that. It was the fucking wicked boots. I know.
It was the wicked boots. Yeah, those are my zodiacs from back in the 70s. Thank you, everybody. That puts me one behind Shanda. I'm catching up with Shanda. We're almost even. Oh, next week's gonna have to be a special.
I'll have to bring it next week.
Special one. We got this time of the year. You'll hear some people say it's too hot for coffee. These people don't understand coffee. They are not to be trusted. We got this. You brought this. I would not bring this in 1,000 years. This is, didn't you? I think
Jilly sent this to me a couple of weeks ago.
Oh my God, Jilly, are you tainting us there? Oh my gosh.
I want to thank the Academy for this tremendous honor. This may be the greatest moment of my life. I mean, ever since I was a little boy, I wanted to be a real actor.
Fucking sick.
That's pretty sick. Thank you, Jilly. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Jilly. Mark my words. Spacey will try to make a comeback. He will. He's cleaned the slate. He's cleaned up his messes, or higher powers have cleaned up his messes. He will try to return to Hollywood.
Yeah, he will try and return to Hollywood because he has paid off.
That's all he's ever had. Yeah, exactly.
He's paid him off. Well, we're about out of there. We're into fashion. We're going to do the movie, and then we're going to say goodnight. We got a great Outgo song. I want to thank everybody for sticking around. Yeah, this has been pretty long. Let's see. We have got fashion. Now, I thought this was fantastic. We have the rattan porch furniture look here on the left going up against Krypton. I'm just like, you've got Krypton evening wear, Krypton winter wear, Krypton formal wear, and Krypton business wear. And then we've got the more casual look with the rattan furniture look. I used to sell that stuff, not the
more of a South Florida type of look.
not the models, but the rattan furniture.
I like rattan.
Yeah, I do too. And actually, some of it with the pads are right, were pretty comforting. So that's this week's fashion.
Fashion.
So yeah, movie time. It show starts soon. What's the movie this week, Chanda?
I don't even know. It's something creepy though.
Something creepy and short. So stick around because we got a great Outgo song, and it's been a hell of a show tonight, and we're glad to be back and not melting. God, Chanda, was that the movie, or did somebody sprinkle microdot on my cornflakes?
That's some dystopian future. Our future.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Amazon Prime they released a movie this week. It's called The Tomorrow War with Galaxy of the Guardians, Christopher Pratt, and I gotta say it was one of the shittiest scripted, pointless sci-fi movies I've seen. I couldn't believe
Amazon.
It was terrible. It was. I'm so disappointed too. But again, it was terrible. I hope I didn't ruin it for everybody. But it was mindless junk, and I know they can do better with the kind of money they spent on that damn movie. It was Aliens Part 2 2021. So. Again, it's
don't watch Amazon's the moral of the story.
Yeah, I know, but I love The Expanse. It's so good, and they're gonna end it this season. So anyway, sorry, that's my movie review. Thumbs down, guys. I usually don't like to do the negative ones. And then we've got Chanda. You did a Dior commercial. Is this you doing a Dior?
I did a Dior commercial on my downtime.
Okay, let's check out your Dior commercial. Wow.
The past can be beautiful, and now is the time. The only way out is up. The future is gold. Chanda Oz.
Is that pre-pandemic?
That was pre-pandemic,
Okay.
absolutely.
Just checking.
Yeah. My hair was a little bit shorter.
Yeah, looks good. Beauty and the Boomer stuff.
Beauty and the Boomer merch. Yeah, you guys get in there and get your first round of merch because I'm getting ready to pull a bunch of stuff and do some redesigns when I get home from my vacay next week.
Yeah, I have got to get at least a shirt and some socks one of these days.
I had my shirt on earlier today.
Yeah, I've got my Convo Couch mug. I'm going to need a Boomer mug. I'm going to get now, is that Beauty on one side, Boomer on the other? Is that how that works?
There's quite a few different mugs to choose from. There's I think there's an Okie Dokie Boomer, and there's oh my God, with your brain blowing up. There's all kinds of cool ones.
Well, my brain's been blowing up pretty bad again. Last one. No coffee, no worky. Joey's Coffee Roaster. So thank you, Joey, for your memes tonight. It was fun, something a little different. Packed them in a long show, so it made it longer. Thank you so much to our Patreons. And I want to give a special shout out to Patty's tweeting. She doubled down for us this week. I really, really appreciate it. And all of you thoughtful people. Once again, we want to remind you, if it puts you in a bind, stop it. Don't. It's a recurring thing. We like the Patreons because we can kind of count on them coming in. But if it puts you in a bind, go ahead and cut it. No hard feelings. We completely understand. But if you want to get into our link tree and see what we have to offer as far as support, if you can, great. If you can't, we still love you. It's not about that for us, but we do appreciate the support any way you can. Thank you. Roar Media on Rockfin. Go over there, sign up for free. And you got any announcements before we head out?
I'm going on vacation as soon as I sign off here tonight, and I'm not going to be back till next Saturday. So I'm going to head down and cruise through the land of Oz. I get to go squeeze Oz.
Yay!
I'm excited.
Yay! Looking forward to it. So if we do have a Monday Dive this week, it'll be Ms. Amber King and myself. I don't know.
Amber King's in the chat. What's up, Amber?
Yeah, Amber voted for me in the dance-off.
Well, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you,
where our
Amber.
loyalties lie.
Thank you, Amber. Yeah,
it was the Wicked Boots.
Yeah, and Amber King's going to have a show this week. She didn't have one last week. She wanted to do a one-off, but I was just loaded with crap to do, so we didn't do it last night.
I hear you.
And again, we are running over at KRTD. And
yes, they made me a mod over there. Thanks, guys.
Yay.
I'm excited to be a mod.
Yay, and this is our first time out. Sorry about the rocky start, but there was an issue with the RTMP key. And there's a different way that I go in. We'll fix it, but I know we got the show over there. Thanks again, you guys. Share.
Awesome.
Subscribe to us through Rockfin, and we will be putting some of KRTD's content over on Rockfin from time to time to give them support. Nice. And that's one of the reasons why we do. We're
Roar is what Roar is.
Yeah, we're supporting our sisters and brothers. We definitely support our sister and brothers over at the Convo Couch in a big way. And Steve, Slow News Day, Franco, Jackson, Misty, Glory, just, the list is...
You guys know who they are.
You
guys I see you in all their chats, too.
Yep. Allie over there. Just everybody.
Kit.
Yep. Kit and Daniel over at Hardlands. We're not going to punch left unless somebody punches us, and we just want to give them a little wake-up call. We're going to...
And join me July 14th. The Joy Man and I, Savage Joy, will be back with Women's Wednesday, and that'll be early Wednesday morning, so 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific.
That's great, and I want to see as many of you ladies out there that can join on Women's Wednesday.
I'm going to ask Lynn to join us, Lynn Idahoda. We haven't had her on for a long time.
Oh, Lynn Idahoda, that's great. Get her on, and Women's Wednesday. Oz is going to be the honorary gal behind the curtain for the most part. Women's Wednesday, and we have a couple other things coming up. Check us out if you're in the Olympia area, check us out on Thurston Community Media. We're working with that wonderful group over there. Public access, and we're looking to network and hook up with a lot of other people. If you want to, help out, join us. We're not throwing out anything. Everybody's got their own autonomy, but we want to support each other at the least. So we have 3 great Outgo songs tonight, but we picked Garden of Delight, and
I love this cover.
It is a great cover, and I just want to thank everybody again. It's been a long one. It's been a good one.
Oh, you're telling me.
And the issues that we have, we can't let monsters like Keith Olbermann recruit other people to be monsters like Rachel Maddow, who doesn't give a shit about anything except her $7 million a year contract. So sorry. I would rather promote and platform genuine, authentic individuals, no matter their position in life, one way or the other, whether they're living on the street or, living somewhere better. I know.
Or trailer park.
Anyway, have a great week, everybody. Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend, a holiday weekend, and be safe.
Oh, yeah. Be safe. Be careful. Watch for fire. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Chanda. You are terrific as usual. Have a great one.
Tried to set him straight. Looked him in the eye. Let my people go.